you slew them all, Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had 9 bows and arrows. But how bravely you face one with your 16-pounder gun, and you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand a brave Parnell, and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders.
Here it comes, chat.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. How we doing? Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's good to see you. It's good to see everyone in the chat. Yeah. Back again. I know I'm starting at 5:30 again. Starting a little late, even though this is a little early. Crazy, I know that is even a possibility. Hello, yes, it's me. Look at this. Welcome. Yeah. Look at me. Here I am. It's me. It's Donkus Jonkus. I've got a stream for you. Yeah, I had to do a bunch of stuff today because I just had to get a TikTok out about Russell Brand because we did a whole fucking bunch of shit on him yesterday, and I'm planning on doing like some other stuff. I'm gonna edit some other stuff on the new recently to be created, to be published. It's there, it's ready to go. It just has to be published. djmuel official Twitch clips channel. Run entirely by me until I make as much money as I can afford to get an editor. Pay an editor to make a couple of Twitch clips a month for me. That would be very good. But we'll see. We will see. It's all down to you, chat. You know, it's all down to you. It's all down to you. Anyway, it's early in the stream. We're not going to do that spiel just yet. But welcome, everyone. It's good to see you all. Catgirl Steph, hello. How are you doing? Half a laptop. Good to see you. Shafiq, it's lovely to see you. We also got the Ori. Great to see you. Long time no see in the stream chat. And also, Anxiety Sloth, hello. Erica. Are we talking about Ethan Klein? I don't really do drama here like that. Talking about other creators. So no. I won't be talking about that. What did Russell Brand do now? Oh man, to be in the in the world that you live in, I would love that. To not know about that. God, where do I begin? I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you the TikTok I made. How about that? I'll show you the TikTok I made. That'll just explain all of it very quickly for you, and I won't have to. Oh wait, hang Hang on. I'm going to talk about the Russell Brand stuff, and here we go. There it is for you. Real quick. I'll show it you. Real quick. We're going to talk about the Russell Brand stuff, and I think it is really important. I think it's important for me, a man, a cis man, to talk to my audience and anyone else who's out there who may be listening to this, seeing this on TikTok or YouTube, the VOD channel, or Instagram or whatever, to just talk about the ins and outs of all of this. There have been multiple allegations come out about him. It's been something of an open secret. The entire team at Channel 4 have known about this stuff, so they are indeed complicit. I just have to remind everybody that. Hey Prince, how you doing? The short of it is that he has and emotionally multiple women, including schoolgirls as young as 16. This is kind of proof that cancel culture doesn't really actually hurt any men who might be afraid, oh, I don't want to do the wrong thing, or if I say the wrong things to a woman, I'll get cancelled, I won't be able to get a job anywhere. Oh my god, it's all nonsense. It's all complete fucking nonsense. If you are in a position of power like this man, there is nothing that is going to stop you from getting You'll gigs. see a picture of him in a minute.
Russell Brand
You'll know who it is.
Go to a gig that he had scheduled on the night after this program on Channel 4 came out to thunderous applause. So he's not suffered at all, has he?
And if you want to sit there and claim that people saying that he is a bad person for having raped people is suffering, then I want you to vastly re-examine what you think suffering is if someone has actually like done something horrible to people that will have ruined their lives, mind you. And that's what feminists mean when we say... I had to add this bit because the context didn't really seem to be coming through, because if you just listen to like the first bit of the TikTok, it actually sounds like I'm saying like, don't worry guys, you can do whatever you want and get away with it. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm trying to say that like there's lots of people who say that you can't do anything, you can't say anything, blah, blah, blah. and they're wrong. Like you can do whatever you want if you're a man in power, actually. So I had to add this clarifying bit. The patriarchy protects men when they do these things. There's not going to be any justice delivered to his victims. It's just completely vile. You've got all these awful right-wing piece of shit bastards out there, and they keep saying things like feminism has gone too far, you can't say anything nowadays, blah, 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 blah. This guy's gonna get away with it. He's gonna get away with it. I'm sorry, but I think this is like a huge thing to have to like point out, right? Russell Brand's got $20 million in the bank. He has got his big mansion in the woods. We saw that yesterday on GB News. You know, he'll probably have shares in like a bunch of stuff. He's probably also got like a bunch of money in his business account, which will be like his self-employed business account. His books continue to sell, like Shafiq says in the chat. You know, worst comes to worst for him, he might have to pay out like $1 million each to these people, right? He might have to pay some like legal fees. If he's, I could sort of see like the most that's gonna happen to him is he'll probably lose 10 million quid. That's probably it. But then he's got $10 million left, hasn't he, in a massive house, you know? So he's not really gonna lose out. That's the unfortunate reality. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get at here. Do you think I've communicated that well with this TikTok chat? I'm not being funny when I say that feminism has not gone far enough.
Is there another agenda at play?
No. No, I maintain it. I maintain what I said yesterday, which is that no, there isn't another agenda at play. You fucking pedo. And that's that, isn't it? Anyway, please like and share that TikTok. Like it. Add it to your favorites. Give us a little comment on there. Make sure it gets spread around and shit like that, because I just think people have to know that he's a piece of shit, and that all these people saying like, oh, you know, this is gonna be the end for him. It's the Matrix. He's gonna go to prison. He's not gonna go to prison. I really don't think he is. Not in this fucking country. Not in America either. Anyway, So that's Russell Brand. That's who he is. He's just a little piece of shit conspiracy theorist nonce. He's always given me the ick. Yep. He's always given me the ick as well. Erica. I wish cancel culture works as well as centrist and conservatives thought. Yeah, me too. What else did I miss in the chat? I don't think I missed anything else. Prince is here. Hello, Prince. Lots of purple in the chat today. It's good to see. One of my favorite colors. It is my favorite color, to be clear. To actually be very, very clear. What have I got for you on the stream today? Well, it is this one lady. I've never heard of this lady before, but apparently some people knew about her. In the chat yesterday, they were saying like, "Oh yeah, Sabine Hossenfelder. Yeah, she's like a video essayist that I used to watch, but then she went off the deep end with about trans people, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know that about her. I never even fucking heard of her before." But she's come out with this video, which is why the subtitle of the stream is "No, it's not Lamau." It's a video saying capitalism is good, and the title says "Let me explain." So I don't see how she could explain that in 16 minutes. I'm just going to be real here and say I don't. You would have to really get me to believe that capitalism is good in any way. I think you'd need a lot more than 16 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna really say this? Are you really gonna like explain in 16 minutes? And the CC have come up here already. The auto CC have come up here already and said capitalism will kill us all. That is, if you trust Greta Thunberg. So she's already going in on a young girl. You know? My Twitter feed was filled with tweets today about Ethan Klein talking about how he likes capitalism, which is why I asked about him. Yeah, no, I don't really do drama content on here. I don't really talk about like other big creators unless they've done something like really, really, really fucked. Do you know what I mean? It's just not a thing that we do here. But yeah, if you know, whatever, man. If he's gonna talk about like, oh, I like capitalism. Yeah, of course he likes capitalism. He's rich, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, duh. Like, what? I'm not gonna like turn around and be like, oh, well, you know, he's an idiot and he's wrong and blah, blah, blah. No, well, of course he's gonna fucking say shit like that. Anyway, look, I'm fucking already talking about it. It's not happening. Anyway. No, we're going to be talking about this today. I've not really much else to tell you in terms of like the update. You know, I normally like come here and do an update, but that's it really. I went home last night. I had some thingy. I had some food, some rice and some chili. You know, that's it. My nan was in bed by the time I got back, which is why it's going to have to be another short stream today because I need to make sure that she's all right. She gets to bed all right. That's that. Yeah. How have you all been? How was your evening last night? How's your day been today? What have you been up to? It's a very rainy, miserable day today. So I've just been to the shops with my gran. What else? I went to the park with the dogs. How's the doggo? The doggos are great. Really, really good. I thought I recognized Sabine Hossenfelder. Yeah, that's apparently who it is. I don't know. I've never seen her ever in my life before. I've seen her shorts and she gives me the big distrust. Yeah, she seems like one of these people who's like... She seems to be like big about how she's like a physics theorist. Like a what do you call it? Like a... What do you call him? What do you call him? Hey, Midlife Marxist, how you doing? Good morbin time. It is good morbin time, isn't it? Do you remember that? It's morbin time. Love that. I remember that. I remember those times. Theoretical physicist. That's correct. Thank you. Thank you, chat. I appreciate you correcting me on how to say things properly. Yeah, theoretical physicist. She seems to be one of these like white academics who's like, oh yeah, I've done my university, which means I'm the smartest person. means capitalism and the world, they've said that I'm the smartest person, so, you know, I don't need to learn any more things, basically. So that's that. So we're going to watch her little 16-minute video, and we're going to debunk all of it. I don't imagine it's going to be that difficult to do so. I'm basically copying Cav. It's another copycat Cavanacle stream where basically I saw that Cav had done some content on this person, and I thought, you know what? I bet I could do that a little bit differently, probably the same. So there you go. I'm doing okay today, all things considered. Had a generally good time since last time I was around. But last week has been rough, but your girl's trending up once more. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Ori, honestly. Yeah, I'm sorry you've had a bad week. Yeah, sending you a lot of love. Everyone really is purple. Should I switch over? It's up to you. It's entirely up to you, half a laptop. You won't be chastised in the chat. I'm sure some people will come in eventually who are not also not purple. You know? The purplers, as I'm going to call them, generally tend to be here first. Yeah, purple and green go well together. They do, actually. Yeah, which is hence why my backdrop is green and purple. And there is like a sort of like a little tinge of purple in my color correction here. Hello, Krypton Juice. You're not purple. No, you're orange. No, you're not. Hello, Confero. You're purple. Hello, look, see, here they are. Now they're coming in, the non-purples. They're also the genderqueer colours. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the unfortunately appropriated flag of feminism by gender criticals. But we don't talk about that because they're very cringe, aren't they? Krypton is purple for me. Well, I have things turned on. If you don't choose what color you are specifically in Twitch chat, it will just be like random for everybody. And also, like, I have readable colors on, so yeah. So that's that, isn't it? Anyway, we're gonna get cracking with this video. Just bear in mind, chat, we're going into the politics category on Twitch, so we're gonna get weirdos. We're gonna get people who are obsessed with me, and not in a good way. Not that there is a good way to be obsessed with me. Well, there is, I guess. But anyway, that's that. Everyone is purple to someone. That's true, Krypton Juice, isn't it? That's very true, actually. A truer thing has never been said. Yeah. Hell yeah. Also, I was at the MMIW Search the Landfill demonstration yesterday. Ended up speaking and did cry. 10 out of 10 will bring snacks next time. Oh shit, half a laptop, that rocks. I'm so happy for you. That's really, really cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah. Sending you lots of love. Excuse me. Okay, we're gonna check this out. Let's see what... Oh, shut up already. Intro, money, capitalism, microeconomics, externalities, consumers and the cost of carbon, summary, learn science with Brilliant. This is gonna hurt, isn't it, chat? You're all here with me, aren't you, chat? Like, you're all here to support me. I'm here to support you. I hope that we can offer each other support and eggs in this trying time. It's gonna be awful. So, all right. The chapter titles... Oh, boy. Anyway, all right, let's see what Sabine Hossenfelder has got to say.
Capitalism will kill us all. That is, if you trust Greta Thunberg, which maybe you should not. Free markets will save us all, if you trust Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which maybe you should not.
What are you going to tell us why we shouldn't trust Greta Thunberg? Hey Nada, how you doing? Welcome in. It feels like PragerU. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? But also, like, this is like very like centrist to begin with straight away. It's like people on the left are pretty bad, and people on the right are pretty bad. You know, so she has like a tweet of Robert F. Kennedy here. saying that, like, climate change is being used to control us through fear. Freedom and free markets are a much better way to stop pollution. Yeah, as if we don't already, like, have that. But, like, here's the thing, you know, how is she going to defend capitalism and say that free markets are bad? Because we have free markets. So what are you talking about? Already it feels like she's completely contradicted herself, right? Greta Thunberg fumes at capitalism and demands economic overhaul to save world in new book. So this is her, like, thing to say that Greta Thunberg is bad. Bullshit neoliberal framing.
If you trust Greta Thunberg, which maybe you should not. Free markets will save us all, if you trust Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which maybe you should not. Maybe we should talk about what capitalism and free markets are. Will they kill us or save us? That's what we'll talk about today.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what she says, chat. Let's go.
Before we talk about capitalism and markets and stuff, we need to talk about money. I don't mean my money, though while we're at it, check out my Patreon.
Don't do that. Don't give this fucking person money. I guarantee she's already got loads of fucking money. Oh, man. You know, I sit here and I'm like, look, I know I'm not like the most entertaining guy. I know I'm like, you know, not perfect and all that stuff. But, you know, I get by all right. I get by all right. My supporters here in the chat, my patrons, like, you really do me like a great favor. Like, I get like a decent amount of money. I get to survive. I don't mind being poor. But honestly, it fucks me up so hard that, like, people like her, do you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna hurt myself, chat. This is self-harm. It's happening live on Twitch. That's a joke in case anyone is actually gonna report me for self-harm. How much has she got? $5,000 a month. It was hard. It was hard. It was hard for me to see that, chat. It was really hard for me to see that. Don't give this fucker any more money. I can't believe, if I'm not being funny, chat, if I was making that much money, I wouldn't be like plugging my Patreon still at the start of the video. Yeah? I made that mistake. I plugged my Patreon at the end of my last big video, yeah? And I kicked myself daily because, oh my God, I didn't, like, you know, mention it at the start, which is like a thing that people do, and that's really important because it means that, like, people go, oh yeah, Patreon, I should probably support this guy if I like his work. But, like, she's making $5,000 a month. If I was making £1,000 a month on Patreon, I wouldn't be mentioning it at the start of the video. Are you taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? Anyway, you're the most clever boy, entertaining streamer. Thank you, Middle-earth Marxist. I really appreciate that. I am. It's true. It's true.
I mean, money in general. What do we even need money for? Suppose you have an apple, but you'd rather have an egg. You ask your friend Sue, the one with the chickens, and trade an egg for an apple.
Okay, straight away. Here's the thing, yeah? You're implying that human nature has always been based on ownership and who owns stuff, right? I have a wild idea that is in fact not even that wild because it's been around for fucking centuries, millennia actually, yeah? And what you do is you are just a nice person and you give people things. It's not about like, I want an apple. It's about like, well, I need an apple, right? Oh, well, fucking apple haver should just like give it to you. Or how about this as well? We all have access to apples because, like, you know, the myth of barter has never been seen to exist outside of structures that invented money. Literally. It's a myth. This is a myth.
Okay, but what if Sue doesn't want an apple? She'd rather have a banana. No problem. You ask your friend
This is
Joe
so
with the
fucking stupid,
bananas
chat.
if he will trade your apple for a banana. Then
Why are you putting the banana there?
Joe
Hang on
with
a
the
minute.
banana.
Whoa. Cover that up. Cover it up. What's going on there, Sabine? What are you putting it there for? Crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Does she edit her own videos? She can't edit her own videos, right? She think about this at all? I kind of want to see this guy's dick, if that's what it's looking like. Right, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyway.
If he will trade your apple for a banana, then you trade the...
Put it in exactly the same place. Put it in exactly the same place when it went over to the other guy. What's that about? What's that about?
Banana for Sue's egg.
She gave it to Sue as well, exactly the same place. What is happening? What is happening? It's not just me, right? I'm not just being like overly perverted here, right? I'm not just this. This is like a legit. Even the egg looks like a cock. What's going on? What's happening? Why do I think that egg looks like a cock? Why have they angled it like that? They've actually angled the egg in like a penis fashion, haven't they? I am right. Thank you. Yes, I am right. I am. It's lewd as fuck. It is, isn't it? It has to be deliberate. It got a bit more bass now that Sue has the banana dough. It really did. It really did. It really did. More Sues should have bananas, in my opinion. Put it at the shoulder. This was a rush job. It's either a rush job or like someone is really taking the piss. Either out of her or out of like, or she's taking the piss. Maybe she has transphobic brain rot. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. Hey, Morgan the Fae, how you doing? Girls with bananas are based. It's true. It's very, very true. Anyway, let's carry on. In the right context, everything is a cock. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay, but what if...
Oh! Chat, what happened? Oh, I pressed the wrong button on my mouse. I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Capitalism will kill us all.
Shut up. Right, where were we? Here we go. Penis vegetables.
He will trade your apple for a banana. Then you trade the banana for Sue's egg. Okay, but what if Joe doesn't want an apple either? He'd rather have new shoelaces.
Okay,
no
again.
problem. You ask your friend...
Again. I just have to point out, like, the thing that she's trying to demonstrate is how silly life would be without money, because the only thing that would exist without money is a barter system. But again, the barter system has not been seen to exist in any fucking scenario outside of those that actually engage in using money as a currency. So it's fundamentally flawed. This is a fundamentally flawed argument. There's no basis for this in science, right? When will the spectre of Adam Smith actually die? Why is everything in my life controlled by white men from the 1800s? Yeah, it's really annoying.
Mary, if she'll take an apple for shoelaces.
We could just end this video now. Because if this is what she's basing the entire thing of like why capitalism is good on, everything else that she's going to say in the video is actually fundamentally wrong. Completely wrong, right? If we didn't have if we didn't have money in capitalism, everyone would just have to trade everything around all the time, like shoes for apples, for pears, for bananas, for eggs, wouldn't they? It's what happens. No! No one's ever done that! No one's ever done that!
Give the shoelaces to Joe, take the banana, give the
penis banana again.
Banana to Sue.
Penis banana again.
Have your egg. It works, but honestly, that seems a little cumbersome. How about we instead trade something that everyone would accept, because they can exchange it for something else later, like gold maybe. I give some gold to Sue and she gives me an egg. Then she can take the gold.
But, like, do they not see, like, how completely insane that this is? Just, like, even thinking about that, yeah? Even thinking about that. It's literally like, okay, well, we're going to attribute value to gold. Why? Why gold? Because it's shiny? Are we that stupid? Like, what's going on?
And give it to Joe and get her a banana.
Weirdly, in communities where they have an excess of things, they share it. Right, my gran said to me the other day, literally, my gran, she's 86 years old, she's a white woman, yeah, and she literally said, when I was growing tomatoes this summer, I had to give them to people at the local pub and my neighbours, because there were just too many. One man in this world has access to a single apple that others can only access by trading the only egg, banana, etc. But who planted the apple tree? Where is it? I know, it's not reality. It's not reality. One of the best speeches I ever heard, and I'm kicking myself for forgetting this guy's name. I think his name was something like... he was an Indian fella, and his name was something along the lines of like Ahmed something. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his fucking name. It's really annoying, but he was very, very spot on. And he was talking about how nature gives everybody, without prejudice, free food. Yeah? So immediately, like, the idea, like, it is folly. It is complete human hubris to start to think that we, like, own nature. Like, this is why she can't handle people like Greta Thunberg. She can't handle people saying things like, oh, capitalism has to end because blah, blah, blah. Climate change is really, really bad. Like, you know, she can't handle stuff like that because it fundamentally fucks with her idea that, like, somebody has to own the apple tree. Somebody has to own the chicken, right? No, nobody has to own fucking anything. Like, property it's in How to Blow Up a Pipeline. It's literally on the back cover of How to Blow Up a Pipeline. Property will cost us the earth, right? Owning things will cost us the earth. She's invested. This is the thing, Middle Earth Marxist. I'm actually like freaking out that this fucking like absurd YouTuber is earning £5,000 a month. Like, I'm losing it. Like, every single fucking like you see in the bags under my eyes grow bigger and wider as I think about this. Like, my hair is getting like grey as I think about this. What little hair I got on my head completely like receding further and further and further. It's game over, man.
That's much easier. Hooray, we just invented commodity money. All right, but now imagine you don't want to buy an egg, but an entire chicken farm. That would be a lot of gold you'd have to wheel around. So how about we instead, I don't know, print the face of a king onto a piece of gold and say it stands...
Really, this is what I'm talking about in terms of like 16 minutes. 16 minutes. We've just like jumped straight over the what do they call it? Like the divvying up of the commons. What do they call it? Marx was crazy about it. Yeah, why would you be buying a chicken farm? Why are you buying a chicken farm? Propping up the status quo is lucrative. It really is, isn't it? It really is. It really, really is.
For an entire cart of gold? Come to think of it, why bother with gold? Let's just print it on a piece of paper. The paper itself doesn't have much of a value, but if we all agree on what it stands for, we can use it for trade.
Okay, here's the thing. Tell you what, right? I disagree. I don't think this thing has value. Yeah? Great. She's like admitted, like, okay, if we all agree that it has value, then it has value. Well, guess what? Not happening. Not happening. Hey, B-Rat, how's it going? More people need to read Graeber. Well, you know, this is it. Then why can't we just print more money, even if it was true? Exactly. Gold doesn't have value until people agree. It's just so fucking stupid. Kindergarten level understanding. This woman like advertises herself as being like a theoretical physicist. Like, science without the gobbledygook. Sometimes you need a bit of gobbledygook. In fact, no. Do you know what? I'm not even gonna say that, right? I'm not even gonna say that because you don't need like I think the word gobbledygook is pretty bad to use. I think, but like. In terms of like what she's talking about is like extra fluff, big long scientific words and stuff like that. You don't even really need that to debunk this because it's like, again, I've literally just done it on this stream, haven't I? It's like, yeah, look, you don't actually need to agree that money is valuable. You could just disagree. You could just be like, no, we're not doing that. And that's the end of it. Your entire ideology is flawed based on that. And the thing is that we know this to be true because there were multiple groups who denied that money has value. And what happened to those people? Well, they got colonized, didn't they? They got fucking destroyed. They got genocided. They got killed. They got enslaved. And there you go. It's so fucking funny. She's not even going to mention any of this, is she? She's not going to mention any of this.
Hooray, we just invented token money. That sounds great, but the problem is, if a lot of vendors just refuse to accept the money, it stops working. So in reality, token money is backed up by a king or a government, which enforces that vendors accept the money.
She admits it! Holy shit, she admits it! She's admitting it!
As payment. It's then called fiat money.
I don't even think that's true. Actually, I don't even think that that's true. Is that true? Even in, like, capitalism brain economics, is that actually true? Essentially, money is a construct that's enabled by force. It's forced upon people. Well, it needs a king or a government to make sure that people use the money. Oh, right, yeah, so what you're talking about is oppression. Holy shit. And she just fucking flies over that. Oh, my God. It's fucked.
Almost all money we use today is fiat money, except cryptocurrencies, but that's another story.
Not even 3 minutes in.
It's fascinating because it's ultimately still based on trust. If all you guys watching this video freak out, exchange your entire US dollars for euro, and tell your friends to do the same, the US dollar would collapse. So don't do it.
You've got to be joking me, man. You've got to be fucking joking me. She, like, legit, like, how do people not see how stupid this is? How does everybody not see how stupid this is? It's literally like, oh, here's the thing, yeah? CIA mandated line. She's literally sat here being like, oh, you know, capitalism is good, actually, but if one day all of you watching this video decided that the US dollar was really bad and you put all your money in euros, the US dollar would collapse, so don't do it. They're not even making it look very good. She has to, like, after this, be like, oh, that's why the free market exists, so that people don't do that stuff.
Several economists have argued that any community of sufficiently intelligent traders will eventually introduce a type of token money because it's the most efficient way to distribute resources.
Oh my God. Oh, Adam Smith mentioned. Hey, Thasmidar, how you doing? See, but the free market is fine because despite the fact it's notably been used to deliberately crash values, so even within our system, it doesn't work. Right, exactly. Also, is this going to get into the bullshit of different currencies and exchange and shit? Because then it comes back around to barter. Well, I don't know if it is. But Adam Smith has just been mentioned. So things are going to get extremely fucked. Strap in, I guess. Oh, hey, Astro the Dragon. How are you doing as well? Welcome to the stream. What's going on? Oh, boy.
This idea was maybe first clearly formulated by the Scottish economist Adam Smith.
Didn't even listen. I don't know. You know me, chat. I'm not like a big theory boy. I've not got like the big readings. You know, I'm not like Sophie. Like she's really smart and she's read all the books, right? Sophie. I said Sophie because it said sober in the chat. Prince said sober. So Sophie would like know, yeah, the answer to this question. But didn't Adam Smith also agree that the idea of capitalism and free markets wasn't that good? Like, I feel like that's a thing that people say. I might be wrong in that. I don't know. But yeah. Hey, Rat Freak, how you doing? Welcome in. Robert Smith, not Adam Smith. Yes. 100 times. 100 times, yes. We love Robert Smith.
All right, so we have money, but our busy traders still have a problem. Suppose you have a lot of apples and not sufficiently many people to buy them. Your amazing apples rot away.
Yes, that is a fundamental problem with the system. Well done. You've already missed like 12 problems, but you know, I think this is going to be the moment, chat. I think this is going to be the moment that she goes, yeah, actually, yeah, these communists have got a point. You know, that sounds right. Like he was so far up his ass about up his own ass about the logical actors. I remember Cav mentioning something like that about Adam Smith. I'm absolutely certain. I think that Adam Smith was literally like, I don't even think that this will work properly and we should develop it further. Shouldn't we have addressed this Apple issue back when we were still trading eggs? Yes, it seems like something's gone horribly wrong, doesn't it? So what you've done is you've stockpiled a bunch of resources and they're actually rotting because stockpiling resources is not efficient and it's very bad. So let's see what her... This has got to be the bit where she turns around and goes, you know what? You're right. The communists are right. Capitalism is bad, actually. And she's going to spend the rest of the video telling us why communism is good, isn't she, chat? That's what's going to happen. Yeah?
What a shame. You would like to make apple juice from them, but you can't afford a juice press.
How do you... Wait, what? What do you mean? Like... So what you're saying is that, like, you think that apple juice won't rot. Is that what you're saying? You think that like, apple juice doesn't go bad? Because that's not right. Apple juice also goes bad. It's still made of apples.
So your breakthrough innovation doesn't come into being.
Pardon?
That sucks. However, your friend Sue has been getting really rich with all her chickens. So rich, in fact, she's sitting on a big pile of money that she doesn't know what to do with.
Right. And that's bad. Because that means that there are people who aren't Sue. I like how she's painting these people as, like, regular people as well. That's always extremely funny to me when people make these kinds of arguments. It's like, John wants to buy an apple farm. Okay, where's he getting that money from? Where's he getting that money from, dude? Like, what are we getting it? Is that what's happening? No, he doesn't just like, you know, oh, I see what's happened. Sue's ancestors stole the chicken farm by force, actually, and that's why she's inherited her wealth. Right, okay, I get it, I see, right, okay. She's obviously going to talk about this, isn't she, chat? She's obviously going to talk about how that one thing that she's talking about here, you know, that's what it's going to be, isn't it? That's what it's going to be, yeah? Liberate the chickens, I agree. Wait, how did that pause? What?
Sue sees your problem and offers you a deal. She gives you some of her money so that you can buy your juice press. You just have to agree that if you get rich with your juice press, you give her the money back, plus something on top.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is Sue's going to invest in the Apple company, and therefore control what the Apple company does. Yeah, she'll have a place on the board, and therefore has started a monopoly. Right, okay. So let's see what she says about that. Great. It's a community of like 5 people and one person owns all 500 apples. It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Sue isn't allowed to have ownership of her wealth or labor. It belongs to her husband. Well, yeah, it's funny how she's like not mentioning that as well, isn't it? It's funny how she's not mentioning that.
That money which Sue gives to you is your capital. And such was born the capitalist. The capitalist is a person.
Come on. Are you really like... She's out here being like, capitalism is good, actually. Let me explain. And then, like, shows this comical, evil drawing of a capitalist. She's not fucking selling it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Sue hasn't done any labor for those chickens. Yeah, I wonder if that's going to cause any problems down the line.
Or institution who provides capital to those who want to launch a new business.
That doesn't happen. That literally never fucking happens. What are you talking about? Oh my fucking God. The thing that she's talking about, yeah, the only time that things like that happen in our world is when a business that has been started by like, I don't know, if you have like a mom and pop business or something like that, and it starts to like get quite popular and make a lot of money, a capitalist will turn around and buy that business so that they are getting the money that the mom and pop are making, essentially. That's called the bourgeoisie absorbing the petty bourgeoisie. That's what creates monopolies. That's why you're starting to see chain stores pop up all over the place instead of your typical, you know, independent shops that you'll see and shit like that, you know?
Someone who's able and willing to take the risk that this capital will never have a return on investment.
No, they never take that risk. This is where you're wrong. They never, ever, ever take that risk.
Today we grow up with money and banks and all that, and we tend to take them for granted. And while money lending and a basic notion of financial debt date back thousands of years,
I wonder who could talk about that, chat. I wonder who... Someone wrote a book about that, didn't they? Or something like that. Maybe wrote a paper. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I think somebody did do that, didn't they? Hey, Healthspay, how you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, bailiffs aren't real. Yeah, they're not real. They can't hurt you. Don't worry about it, right?
capitalism and all the elaborate financial instruments that come with it is a surprisingly recent innovation.
What are you talking about? Elaborate financial instruments? Like what? An ATM machine? What are you talking about? How is that an elaborate financial instrument? I think Prince Infidel said it earlier in the chat, but like, yeah. I think that STEM majors should, like, you know, or STEM graduates or whatever you want to call them, they should just stick to talking about STEM instead of like trying to talk about economics or whatever. Like, shut up.
Elaborate financial instruments that come with it is a surprisingly recent innovation. It didn't really take off until the Industrial Revolution 150 years ago.
Yes, that's right. When they started to learn that they can exploit people for their labor. That is when it started to take off, correct? There was a guy that wrote a book about that. You know, when they invented wage theft, right?
And it's dramatically changed the world.
Correct.
Scientists tend to associate the stunning societal progress we've seen since then to science and technology. But I think that's having it backwards. The driver of all this progress was the capitalist system that allowed an efficient allocation of resources.
What? Shut up! You're wrong! An efficient allocation of resources? How? Are we going to talk about how much food gets wasted in our fucking society? And that's in the modern day. She even has a Kurzgesagt cartoon? Of course she fucking does. Hey, Johnny, welcome in. Hey, Gummer Master, how you doing? She's just English, PragerU. No, this person is German. Credit where credit's due. Yeah, she's German. She's a German leftist. This is the thing, chat. This is your average German leftist, by the way. Like, I'm being absolutely serious. I'm being genuinely serious. Some of the worst people on the internet are German leftists. For some reason, something to do with the World War that happened, I don't quite know. German leftists are the worst, like easily the worst people of all time. Like, they're so fucking bad. You know, I genuinely, like, you know, love the Germans. I do. I think they're great people. Lovely people, but like, they're leftists, not so good. You know, they like love Israel. They think Israel is the best thing of all time, and they absolutely will not hear the word communism. They simply will not. They will not hear communism. Socialism at best. Yeah, socialism at best. I have a feeling that she's going to start talking about socialism. I have a feeling that she's going to start talking about, like, we just need capitalism with guardrails. Yeah? That's what it's going to be. I'm absolutely convinced of it. She's going to, like, talk about, like, there's going to be, like, there's some people who exploit the system and it's really bad. That's why you need capitalism with guardrails. We can have millionaires, just not billionaires. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. Just got to get rid of the corruption. Let's not talk about why the corruption exists and what maintains it. You know? Fucking hell. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, Whack at Apple. Yeah, doing well. How are you? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, we produce enough food for 10 billion people and huge swaths of the global population are starving. Very efficient. It's the most efficient way. It's the most efficient way to distribute resources. Yeah, she's right. She's right, chap.
By resources, I don't just mean raw materials, but also goods and human resources.
That's right. There was a lot of human trafficking that went on under capitalism, wasn't there? Yes. You're not going to mention any of that, Sabine? You're not going to talk about, like, the huge something... Oh, that's it. It's because the word transatlantic is in there, and you're not a fan of trans, are you? You're not a fan of... the word trans, like the prefix trans, you're not quite a fan of that, are you? And that's why you don't want to mention the transatlantic something trade. I can't remember. There's something that was there. It involved shifting like a lot of humans from one place to another. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come to me. We just need one party focused on economic responsibility to gain control of the Reichstag. Then things will run on time. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Capitalism is a system that distributes these resources without anyone needing to have an overview, just by interactions between traders. It's pure genius if you think about it.
Are you fucking serious, man? You can't be serious. Like, I actually hate, yeah? I actually, like, hate the way... Okay, I got to address this in the chat. Whack at Apple says, to be honest, though, the slave trade didn't necessarily benefit capitalism, especially when the industrial North economically was much better than the slave-based agricultural South. You have got USA brain, you fucking plank. Yeah? Do you think for a fucking second, right, that the entire world is encompassed within the USA? You are a fucking bellend. You are a fucking idiot, my friend. Yeah? Here's the thing. Free labor from slaves. Yeah? A bunch of fucking cotton. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of cotton. Distributed all over the fucking world. Yeah? All over the fucking world. And you're telling me that didn't benefit the people who owned those plantations? You are a clown. A colossal fucking clown. And you've got one opportunity to say, you know what? Sorry, you're right. And then you can stay in the stream. If you don't, you're fucking banned. Because that is fucking bullshit, my friend. That is fucking dumb bullshit. Yeah? Hey, Woodborg, what's going on? Welcome in. Hey, Crystal. And as well, exactly, the transatlantic slave trade was used to bring slaves to more than just the USA. Exactly. The fucking descendants of plantation owners still have capital that slaves generated. Fucking exactly. So dumb. So stupid. Fucking shut up. You are correct that the free labor from slavery was profitable to the owners of plantations. Okay, I'm waiting for the but. Go ahead. Type that but. Do it, dude. I fucking dare you, man. Everyone's waiting. You got your moment, man. You got your fucking moment. Do it. Do it. I fucking dare you. Come on, man. I'm not going to sit here and wait for this fucking whole fucking thing.
And that's why science took off, not the other way round. Remember that story about how the Scottish physician Alexander Fleming supposedly accidentally discovered penicillin in 1928 and saved the lives of countless wounded soldiers in World War II? Yeah, well, that isn't really what happened. First of all, scientists had discovered that the fungus penicillium.
It's not a but. The nuance is that at the end, abolitionism, which preceded industrialization of the South, did benefit the post-agricultural economy. No, that is a but. And also, you didn't really like... What the fuck are you talking about? Abolitionism, which preceded industrialization of the South, did benefit the post-agricultural economy. So what you're saying is that slavery did benefit capitalism. That's what you're saying. What are you fucking on about? What are you fucking on about?
Inhibits the growth of...
It doesn't fucking support your point at all. At all.
Bacteria decades earlier. It just wasn't widely known. The British psychologist Burton Sanderson, for example, observed this in 1870 and wrote a book about it. There are also several other written documentations from other people around that time who had studied the effects of...
Look at all this. Now she's pulling out all the different citations, all the different studies and theories. Oh, okay, this motherfucker's back. In an industrial economy like the North, for business owners, slaves are less productive than fairly paid workers. You're a fucking plank, you bro. You are an actual plank. 1. Industrial workers were not fairly paid. 2. Slaves were infinitely more profitable. We're not talking about productivity. We're talking about profitability. You absolute plank. Get the fuck out of here, man. You know what? Like, because it's just giving racism. It's just giving racism. I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like a degree. If you're wondering, like, Mule, why are you getting so, like, mad at that guy? Because he is fucking talking shit about, like, oh, you know, slavery wasn't that bad. That's basically what he's saying. Slavery wasn't that bad. Slavery wasn't that bad. They just, like, you know, they realized that it wasn't that productive and people just, like, you know, gave up on it. Fucking stupid prick. Fucking stupid cunt.
Fungi on bacteria. Fleming's contribution was that he realized the fungus was shedding a particular substance which he called penicillin, but he pretty much left it at naming the stuff. It wasn't until 10 years later that a group at the University of Oxford set out to find a way to grow the fungus and extract penicillin in large quantities. They then conducted medical trials, and once they were sure penicillin was both safe and effective, their method was scaled up by the pharmaceutical industry. 2 members of...
Okay, she's gonna go ham on Big Pharma now. So like she's out here saying, like, actually, penicillin, it wasn't science that was good, it was capitalism. Let's do a little mental exercise, shall we? If we remove science, yeah? If we remove science from the equation and we just have capitalism, how would they have created penicillin? Right? Should we also talk about Cuba? Should we also talk about how many doctors per capita exist in socialist state Cuba? Do you know what I mean? Doctors, I don't know if that's the right word, doctor per capita or whatever. But doctors like per 100,000 people or whatever in Cuba, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, that guy was gone. That guy was gone as soon as he fucking posted. To be honest, though, with the slave trade didn't necessarily benefit capitalism. That motherfucker was gone as soon as they fucking posted that shit. I'm serious. They had one chance to literally be like, Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. But no. Also, the whole fact that we have proof that society's pushed medicine and stuff without capitalism. She's talking about, like, penicillin, right? She's talking about penicillin. And, you know, again, this is like, it's white supremacist bullshit. This is white supremacist bullshit. She's being so white about this because there are, like, so many examples of indigenous people using medicines based on plants and stuff like that. And I'm not sat here being like, you know, a crusty hippie and shit and saying like, oh, you can cure cancer with XYZ and shit like that. Like, no, I definitely believe in like the value of modern medicine, like, but also alongside the knowledge that indigenous people had of herbs, plants, all these kinds of things that are incredibly important to like helping prevent and treat, you know, diseases, and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's just literally bollocks, right? It's just literally bollocks. Why does everyone think that she's British? She's German. She's not British, she's German. But hello, Ida. How you doing? Welcome in. She's not British, she's German, but she doesn't give a good or correct definition of capitalism. Yes, that's absolutely right. She's fucking it all up completely. You know, also, let's talk about how, like, Big Pharma, you know, she's mentioning this thing in, like, 1938. I want to ask if she's going to mention this guy. Because if she's going to talk about Big Pharma and not mention this guy, yeah, I'm going to throw the fucking monitor out the window. Does anyone know this guy? 1 in the chat if you know who this guy is. 2 if you don't. Right, insulin prices. Insulin prices in the USA. Yeah? Okay, so there's at least one person in the chat who doesn't know this guy. I'll tell you this guy. His name is Martin Shkreli. Yeah? And Martin Shkreli, basically, he purchased like the patents or the rights of, you know, AIDS medication. I think it's like HIV medication or AIDS medication. And he said that he was going to jack the price right the way fucking up there. Yeah? And if people can't afford that worldwide, well, it's tough shit. You die of AIDS, right? You die of AIDS-related sickness or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, that is something that capitalism enabled, isn't it? Now, the funny thing is, chat, she's talking about capitalism, oh, it's good actually, and shit like that. She's going to talk about microeconomics, externalities. I wonder if any of these sections here are going to mention the advent of neoliberalism. Here's Big Weenie. Hello, Adam. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Adam, just a personal reminder for you. I'm not sure if you've done this already, but the mods are getting stressed because you've not done the quarantine stuff in the, in the Discord. So in my Discord, you've got to like do some things before you actually gain access to the Discord proper. So just make sure you go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll kick you from the Discord, basically. You won't be banned, but, like, yeah, just make sure you do that. Anyway, that's that. I know about that, just not about him, though. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, anyway.
The Oxford group later shared the Nobel Prize with Fleming. So what saved all those many lives wasn't just Fleming's observation in a petri dish. The game changer was producing the stuff in large quantities and...
So penicillin is antibiotics, isn't it, right? So deaths from lack of antibiotics. Third world. I'm not getting what I want here. Antibiotic resistance crisis. No, I don't want this. I don't want this. Okay, well, anyway. What I was trying to Google was deaths from lack of antibiotics in the imperial periphery. But something even worse came up, right? Because this is like a legit thing that's going to happen, right? And it's antimicrobial resistance. And antimicrobial resistance is when antibiotics no longer work due to the vast use of antibiotics in factory farming, and then people subsequently eating that meat and then becoming resistant to antibiotics, etc., etc., etc. The analysis shows that AMR was directly responsible for an estimated 1.27 million deaths worldwide, associated with an estimated 4.95 million deaths in 2019. You know, and this is from antimicrobial resistance, antibiotic resistant bacterial infections, basically. But I think the main point that I want to, because I don't have the numbers for this on hand, I can't find them right now, but the main thing that I want to like say straight away is that Sabine here is saying like, so many lives were saved with penicillin, right? And as Shafiq is rightly pointing out in the chat, you know, even though penicillin can be manufactured everywhere and shit like that, I guarantee that capitalism meant that people were still dying from this in the fucking third world. Do you know what I mean? 1,000%. 1,000%. It's just like a really fucking white idea. It's just like a really white point of view, innit? At what point do the benevolent capitalists think they've extracted enough value to give life-saving medicines out for people to make? Right, exactly. Let's talk about something a little bit more like pertinent then regarding this. The COVID vaccine. That's patented, isn't it? There's loads of patented COVID vaccines, apart from the one in Cuba, made by a socialist country. So there you go. COVID still fucking killing people in the imperial periphery, still killing people in the imperial core, but that's for different reasons. Anyway.
Bringing it where it was needed. Innovation and industrialization ultimately going back to capitalism. That's what saved all those people.
I fucking hate it so much. So many drugs have been patented.
Capitalism got a...
Bill Gates famously pushed the team at Oxford to patent theirs. Yeah, literally. One of the biggest capitalists.
Pretty bad rep when Marx claimed that it's just about grabbing hold of the means of production and exploiting the working class.
I'm going to fucking lose it, chat. I'm going to lose it. If she doesn't even remotely talk about what those things mean, I'm going to lose my mind. Why don't you talk about the exploitation of the working class, Sabine? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about why it's bad to actually own the means of production just one person? Yeah? Not even a surface level of understanding of Marx. Hey, one who reads, how's it going? Oh, it gets worse, does it? Okay, great. Okay, there you go. Even bringing it to modern antibiotics, all new antibiotics are patented, leaving the imperial periphery to do without. So there you go as well. 5.7 million deaths globally every year due to a lack of antibiotics. There you go. Yeah, you going to talk about alienation from one's labor?
Of course, there was an element of truth to his fears, because some things went badly wrong during the Industrial Revolution, but that's another story.
But that's another story. Oh. Not gonna talk about that, are we? No, just gonna say it's another story. That's another story. Doing a lot of heavy lifting, that, isn't it? It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's just another story, isn't it? Oh. Oh. I think he just had a stroke. A little stroke there. Oh my God. Swear to God. I swear to God. Oh my God. She's gone straight from the first list of principles of how money works to we understand it better than Marx. I know. It's so insane. I can't handle it at all. Excuse me. Need to make some rice. You go and make some rice. The inventor of the polio vaccine refused to patent it because he thought it was too important. Now polio is one of the best controlled serious diseases in the world. Yeah. Hey, Willada. Also, those meds were made with the money of society, not by a capitalist. So capitalism didn't even do that. They just stole the meds funded by the public. Yes, correct. Correct. Tests that could identify drug-resistant TB that could be done in hours, not days, are patented and withheld from the imperial periphery. Yeah, also true. Also true. I hate this. This should be like the end of it. This should be the end of it. Capitalism got a pretty bad rap when Marx said it was bad, and some things did get very bad, but I'm not going to talk about any of those. I will have a little stretch. I do need a little stretch after that. A little stretch after that, chat. Oh, Nelly. Oh, Nelly Furtado. We're not even halfway through. Oh, boy. I'm going to save that blue fella for the end of the video, chat. You're never going to do a bigger stretch than this video. B-rat. Tish. Okay. Great. That was a great joke. Also, which capitalist invented that cooking your food is a good idea? As there was no innovation without capitalism. Right, exactly. It must have been a capitalist. Why isn't she telling us about that? Half a laptop. We got to stretch because this video is just reach after reach. Tish. Ah! There you go. Great jokes all around. Well done, chat. Okay. Just listen to this bit again.
People. Capitalism got a pretty bad rap when Marx claimed that it's just about grabbing hold of the means of production and exploiting the working class.
Like, she, puts that in quotation marks in the CC, but, did she do the quotation marks here?
That it's just about grabbing hold of the means of production and exploiting the working class.
She didn't really do it.
Of course, there was an element of truth to his fears, because some things went badly wrong during the Industrial Revolution, but that's another story. For today, we just need to know that capitalism, like fiat money, requires a governing institution. That's because someone must be there to enforce contracts should the need arise. That and a few other things, as we'll see in a moment.
Whoa!
Like fiat money, requires a governing institution.
But you said that fiat money requires a king or a governor ages ago. You said that was like the history of it. What do you mean?
That's because someone must be there to enforce contracts should the need arise. That and a few other things, as we'll see in a moment.
Okay.
There are many different ways to govern a capitalist system, and they go by different names like welfare capitalism, or laissez-faire capitalism, or state capitalism. Now, one can debate how well the actions of certain governments reflect the interests of their electorate, if they were elected in the first place, but that's another story.
What? No! You can't just say that's another story when, it's completely related. It's related. It's relevant. It's a relevant point. You can't just be like, that's another story. That would be like Let me think of something. That would be like talking about the Second World War and going, well, you know, the Nazis had some very weird opinions about the Jews, but that's another story. That would be just literally like that. It's the same. It's the same. Are these other stories videos on the channel? I do not think so. I don't think so. You know? Say the line, Bart. Someone's got to make a meme. Someone's got to make a meme of like her in the Bart Simpson class. And everyone's saying, say the line, Sabine. And that's another story. There you go. Christ alive. So bad. So bad. Famously, politics and capitalism have nothing to do with each other, right? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Always true, isn't it, that? Fucking hell.
Even so, capitalism has been enormously successful in unlocking societal progress, and the nations who still don't use it, such as North Korea, Cuba, and Laos, are places you don't want to live.
Oh! Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck me. Fuck me, dude. Holy fucking shit. Right there. Right fucking there, man. Right fucking there. Cuba is a whole fucking 5 years. Sorry, 4.5 years above the global fucking top. Like, oh my Christ. And look at the improvement there. Life expectancy in birth has improved by 1 year, from 76.8 years in 2000 to 77.8 years in 2019. All the while under a fucking embargo. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. I can't even... Do you know what I mean? Healthy life expectancy. Healthy life expectancy, 67. Still 4.5. Above the global average. Happiness quota. I'm just gonna type this in. I don't even have this stuff ready. I don't even have this ready like to hand. Where's the... there was another thing. Hang on. Wait, hang on a minute. So, whoa. So, Laos... Wait. Oh, I thought Laos was like Vietnam. Wait, hang on a minute. Laos is like... Wait, is Laos a socialist country? What the fuck? Wait, I don't... Chat, why don't I know about Laos? At the heart of the Indo-Chinese Peninsula, Laos is bordered by Myanmar and China to the northwest, Vietnam to the east. I thought she was on about Vietnam. Is it a fucking communist country? I don't understand. Also... I think it's pretty fucking rich that she says that you wouldn't want to live in North Korea when there's like hardly any information available about North Korea. That's another very funny one for me. Anyway, sorry, I just like lost my fucking mind right there because that, I swear to God, man, it's giving racism, it's giving white supremacy, it's giving just like straight up Red Scare bullshit. What are you talking about? What about China? Does she say that China is capitalist now? I mean, China is capitalist. Like, I don't know. I don't think anyone's under any, like, false pretenses that China's, like, not capitalist. Perfectly spherical capitalism, the video. Hey, Ota Joy, how you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. North Korea's a cop-out. Yeah, real big cop-out. I don't think anyone has ever thought or said, I don't want to live in North Korea because of the lack of capitalism there. Yeah, no. Yeah. It's just so dumb. It's just so dumb.
We've seen that capitalism is a system that combines markets with governing rules to efficiently distribute
Both Koreas are
resources.
dictatorships.
This
It's true.
distribution of resources
And one of them is
works
worse.
best if
Guess which
everyone
one?
can put forward their offers freely and customers can pick what they want. This is known as a free market.
No, it isn't! What the fuck? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? She's wrong. She's wrong.
Markets with governing rules to efficiently distribute resources. This distribution of resources works best if everyone can put forward their offers freely and customers can pick what they want. This is known as a free market.
It isn't. It literally isn't. Like, what are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? A free market is like most people think of it. It's literally like, you know, in terms of like whether the government controls how much money you make or not, right? Do you know what I mean? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, what is she fucking on about? Hey, Skidada, how's it going? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Everybody go follow Skidada, please. Top lad. Stares in privatization of essential services like healthcare. It's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. She spoke about, like, the different ways that governments can, like, work with capitalism and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, chat. I don't really, like, know what's going down in terms of, like, whether the things that she said about that stuff is true or not. But she mentioned state capitalism. So state capitalism is when, like, the state basically controls all of it. That's, like, not a free market, right? But even in, like, some state capitalist countries like China and stuff, they still have, like, a little bit of, like, wiggle room and stuff that, like, you know, allows for it allows for exploitation. It allows for monopolization. Not that easy, but, like, still there's, like, a way around it. There's ways around it and stuff. It's fundamentally terrible. Mixed mode of production, right? But, like, free markets, like, if you have, like, a free fucking market, like what you have now, like, it's so funny. She's like, capitalism is when free markets and rules. And it's like, no, it isn't. It isn't, though. Actually, capitalism is literally just free markets. They have that now. They have that in America. They have that all over the fucking world. Do you know what I mean? Apart from, like you say, Cuba or, like, North Korea. Like, if you trade with Cuba or North Korea, you'll get fucking punished. Do you know what I mean? It's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
And it optimizes the distribution of resources by competition. Free markets are a beautiful example of decentralized self-organization, an invisible hand, as Adam Smith put it.
Exactly. The free market is still punishing Haiti for throwing off the shackles of colonizers, right?
The way it works in a nutshell is that everyone can trade around until they've got what they think is the best combination of goods, services, and financial assets. If someone doesn't use resources as efficiently as possible, some competitor can do it better and beat them off the market.
It is not about distributing resources effectively. What are you talking about? It's so dumb. Like, what is she on about? What happens if someone wins the competition? Exactly. Yeah, free markets allow those with enough money to not abide by laws, which is good, apparently. I fucking hate it so much. I swear to God. Hey, Spiralis. Obviously, she means that capitalism is when things are good. And when things are bad, that's just not enough capitalism. That is what she's saying, isn't it? That is actually what she's saying. I like how she's only discussing capital and consumer perspectives in this video and just glossing over what happens with workers. Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? She did also say a competitor can beat them off. Her videos are, like, drenched in this, like, sexual perversion. It's just vile, isn't it, chat? It's disgusting. I could never. It couldn't be me. You know, like, this whole fucking thing about, like, the free market, and it's about, like, the efficient distribution of resources. Like, that is not what motivates competitors to push people out of the market. The thing that motivates competitive companies, corporations, to push competition out of the market is a profit incentive, an unsustainable growth, infinite growth model. You know what I mean? Unions aren't being talked about once, literally.
This idea also goes back to Adam Smith, but later blossomed into an entire discipline now known as microeconomics. Microeconomics is all about how agents, that could be people or corporations or institutions, trade, and how that trade distributes resources where they are most needed.
It doesn't. What are you on about? Hey, Ashran, the invisible hand is made of tasty invisible meat if you're fast enough, chat. Nice. Oh my god. What the fuck? So ridiculous.
To be fair, microeconomics has some shortcomings when it comes to explaining how we trade in reality, but that's another story.
Say the line, Sabine. Say the line. That's 3 times she said it now. That's 3 times she said it when it's like a point that is like absolutely relevant. Christ. I swear to God.
By and large, microeconomics works fine, and several Nobel Prizes have been awarded for it.
By and large, microeconomics works fine because I say so. Because I say so.
One of the most important insights to come out of this research area is that free markets only work to everyone's benefit if they're set up properly.
Right, and do we have an example of that?
Keep in mind that capitalism isn't just a free market. It's a free market plus the governing framework to run it. Free markets do not, for example, work to everyone's favor.
Okay, so like if anyone is confused, yeah, here's how it works. Like the free markets that she's talking about, where she's going like, oh, it requires a government to run it, right? The thing is about that, right, is that when the government puts rules on what brands, corporations could do within a market and stuff like that, the corporations themselves who earn a lot of money, yeah, what they do is this thing called lobbying, yeah, where they like go to the people in charge and they say, hey, now, I know that these government jobs don't pay that much. So what if I give you this big chunk of money and the Democrats this huge chunk of money, or the Republicans or whichever political party is in power, and you like maybe don't think about those rules and don't even discuss them. And if people start talking about those rules, you call it socialism. And socialism is bad. Also, I have a think tank set up, right? But don't tell anyone about that. To actually talk about how bad socialism is. It's called PragerU. It's got nothing to do with the cock industries or anything like that. Don't talk about that. You know, and that's why the free market doesn't work, isn't it? Because it's not actually free. There isn't actually any valid competition because of all the corruption that exists within our system. So there you go. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. Also, there is no Nobel Prize in economics. Many generations of the Nobel family have pointed out that they were invented to reward things useful to humanity, not economists. Yeah, I don't know much about that. Right, so she's also lied about the microeconomics thing. Nobel Prize for economics. Let me Google that. Nobel Prize for economics. Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences. Hang on a minute. All prizes in economic sciences. Oh, no. They have done that. No. They have. No, there appears to be a bunch of Nobel Prizes in economic sciences, whatever that is. So Jean Tirole got one in 2014 for his analysis of market power and regulation. They invented a fake Nobel. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Is that what this is? Yeah, actually, because it's... Hang on a minute. Let's have a little look. All prizes in economic sciences. The Sveriges Riksbank Prize. Hang on a minute. That sounds suspiciously like a bank. Memorial Prize is a fake Nobel Prize. Oh my god. Incredible. Incredible news. Incredible news. So there you go. Probably invented so that pricks like this can make content like this and say stuff like this, right? You know? Free market is like saying, let's have a friendly game of Jabberdash. Jabberdash being a game your older cousin made up 30 seconds ago and proceeds to make up the rules as you go along. Yeah, literally. Literally. Yeah, that's going to be another story, Skidada. Yeah, I agree.
If some people have insider information, which gives them a trading advantage. This is why we have laws against that. Free markets also...
Here it comes, chat. Here it comes. This is why we have laws against that. No one ever does insider trading and gets away with it. Yeah? They go straight to prison, don't they? They go straight to prison, chat.
work badly if one single company dominates a market sector and can use their power to force customers to stick with them. This is why we have laws against that.
I don't know how to find this information, but BlackRock is on the board of pretty much every single major company all over the world. And she is saying that there are laws against that. But there aren't, are there? Actually, Sabine. Because, you know, if you do a bit of research, you'll find, and what's the other one? Venture Group Capital or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, they actually have enough shares that they have people on the board of every single company all over the world that is like, you know, big companies, big corporations, and they make the decisions. They are involved in the decision-making process. How is that not a monopoly? How is it not a monopoly? You know?
And free markets also don't automatically account for externalities, such as environmental pollution. An externality is generally any consequence of trade that doesn't directly affect the trading parties.
Okay.
They can be both good and bad, but it's the bad ones that are the problem.
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing, yeah? Here's the thing. She's actually just saying that, you know, the free market is really, really good and it's got rules, which means that bad things can't happen, right? And that's why Greta Thunberg isn't gonna, you know, she isn't good and we shouldn't listen to her, actually. Like, look at this image, yeah? Look at this image. And, you know, she's out here saying things like, oh, well, you know, the bad companies are the ones that are, like, doing things like polluting the earth, and they don't really affect the people who are doing the trading, and that's kind of bad. And then, like, you know, at the start of the video, she's like, capitalism will kill us all if you trust Greta Thunberg, which maybe you shouldn't. And then she's out here literally being like, oh, no, yeah, there is a lot of bad stuff happening as a result of capitalism. You know? Hey, Dungeon Sub-Bus.
Parties. They can be both good and bad, but it's the bad ones that are the problem. Suppose there's a river going by your house that everyone is free to use.
Wait a minute. Everyone's free to use this? Chat, she's not gonna do this, is she? Is she gonna do this? Is she gonna do this? She's gonna do this, isn't she? She's actually gonna, like, say it's bad that companies take land and things that everyone can use. Tragedy of the commons coming.
One day a clothing company puts up a factory and dumps their toxic waste into the river. Or the fish die and no one dares swimming in the river anymore. This is clearly not an optimal use of resources, you might.
So what you're saying is that this thing that you were talking about here, that like people won awards for, fake made up Nobel Prizes for, by the way, is actually not that good because it means that they could do this. It means that they could do this. You literally just said, this shit, really, really good. Really, really good. It's won awards. Very important. But it results in this. You're a fucking plank. An actual plank.
Prevent it. The reason market forces didn't prevent it is that the water was free to use. The market didn't know it had any value, so pollution couldn't reduce its value. There are several...
What is this market? Who is this market? Bring them to me. Show them to me. Show them to me.
ways to deal with problems like this. One is to just pass laws that forbid certain actions and punish those who disobey. Or you can put a tax on the pollution so that at least the government has money to clear up the mess. Or you can put a price.
So wait. So your solution to this bad thing is like, well, then the government can clean it up. Yeah, absolutely insane leap. Hey Dave, how's it going? Welcome in. Everybody go follow Dave, he's great. Top lad, how you doing, man? Nobody knew that the river was of value because nobody charged for it. Like, insane. Absolutely insane. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
On using the water. There are pros and cons to all of those, but that's a different story.
Say the line, Sabine. Say the line.
The story for today is that we have known that externalities can lead to market failures since the middle of the last century. Carbon dioxide emissions are such an externality. For the market to optimize the use of fossil fuel resources, we should have put a price on releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. We did not, and that's why we're now in deep shit.
I have to hear that again. I have to hear that again.
There are pros and cons to all of those, but that's a different story. The story for today is that we have known that externalities can lead to market failures since the middle of the last century.
So what you're saying then is that it's bad. So what you're saying is that, like, the fact that the free market exists, it's so funny because actually if you follow what she's saying in the video, she says like the free market allows people to put a fucking thing on a river, yeah, a literal, like, you know, whatchamacallit. Chat, I'm having like a deja vu moment, by the way. I'm having like a really solid deja vu moment, and I think it's because she talks about something like this in her Kurzgesagt video, doesn't she? Does anyone know what her Kurzgesagt video is about? I feel like it's something to do with this, and she like talks about rivers. Anyway, never mind. I'm kind of like losing the plot here a little bit, but like the way her video goes is that like she like starts to talk about like, oh, okay, well, we need money because people barter stuff, and that's not true. And then she goes, and then some people just like miraculously make a lot of money from the chickens out of nowhere, and that's not true. And then she keeps going to the point where she actually says like, okay, yeah, you know, the free market is really, really good because it means that like people can like do competitive stuff and create loads of different companies for loads of different things. And so the free market has led to like people buying land and polluting the environment. And that's an externality that comes from the free market, and that leads to market failures. So it is bad. So you're right, it's bad. This shit sucks.
Carbon dioxide emissions are such an externality. For the market to optimize the use of fossil fuel resources, we should have put a price on releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
Optimize fossil fuel resources, she says. Optimize fossil fuel resources. The only way to optimize fossil fuel resources is not to use them. That's how you optimize it. And because when she's talking about optimizing, what she's saying is she's like making as much money as possible without destroying the environment, right? But the very nature of using fossil fuel will actually destroy the environment. So there's no optimizing of it. You can't optimize murder. Do you know what I mean? Well, you can if you think murder is a good thing that needs to happen. You could definitely optimize murder, right? But like, you can't optimize like a bad thing when you're trying to like talk about good things, you know? Awful, disingenuous linguistics gymnastics. It's really bad, I know. Hey Zed Dow, how you doing? Welcome in. I'm gonna throw so many words out here repeatedly. Yeah, literally. I'm gonna create a video that has so much words.
We did not, and that's why we're now in deep shit. So, yes, our current capitalist systems do have a problem with environmental protection, but the reason isn't that there's something wrong with capitalism per se.
You just admitted that there is. Like, you are talking about, like, fucking... She's gonna say it, chat. She's gonna literally say it. She's gonna be like, they just need to put more rules. They just need to put more rules out there for people to not do this stuff. That's what they need to do.
It's that we didn't set it up.
Hey Rohak, welcome to the stream.
Place. Basically, the origin of the problem is that no one paid attention to economists. And unfortunately, we still don't pay enough attention to economists.
Hang on a minute. So what you're saying is that the governments that are in charge of creating the rules that stop capitalism from being bad are not listening to economists, and they're not listening to, you know... The thing is that, like, you know, she's going to talk about economists now that are probably, like, socialists. That's what's going to happen. She's gonna fucking speak about this one thing that, like, I think it was either Graeber or, like, I know Graeber's not an economist, but, like, there are like various different economists. It happened with that one Labour minister the other week where she was like talking about the U-turn that she made on like having taxing the rich and shit like that. And that one caller was like quoting this big thing that was like a socialist idea, a socialist model. And then the host was like, you know, she was quoting you. It's going to be something like that.
The current situation is that companies who voluntarily produce environmentally friendly goods put themselves at a competitive disadvantage because other companies exploit the environment at zero cost.
Run that by me again. What the fuck are you talking about? Companies who voluntarily produce environmentally friendly goods put themselves
put themselves at a competitive disadvantage.
Because other companies exploit the environment at zero cost. I don't think it's the companies that are doing that, my friend. I don't think it's the companies that are doing that.
Because other companies exploit the environment at zero cost. This moves the burden onto the consumer. If you want to buy a climate-friendly product today, you face extra costs because fossil fuels are cheap and getting to net zero is not.
So, again, this is like a problem that is due to capitalism. Yeah, just burn the planet down faster, I guess.
This makes no economic sense, and it'll ultimately not work.
Right, and again, it's happening under the system that you're praising so much, which is free market capitalism.
it's completely upside down. Products whose production causes damage to the environment, which then requires adaptation and mitigation, should be more expensive, not less expensive. This is why
No, they should just not be doing it. They should just not be doing it. That's what she's on about when she says fucking optimize it. She's like, yeah, we should optimize it. Which basically means like, oh, they should still be allowed to make money from it. They should still be allowed to make money from it. You know? Just like make it so that like only rich people can afford to burn the fucking planet down. What are you on about? What are you on about? Also, like, this is so far removed from any actual, like, material analysis of, like, how companies operate and the relation to fossil fuel production, the relation to, like, car use, transport, all that kind of stuff, overproduction, landfills, like, every single bit of it, like, based on the theft of wages from fucking workers.
Economists have argued for decades that we need to put a price on carbon, and it's why several countries have now introduced carbon taxes or use a cap and trade system.
Not the solution. Not the solution. Not the fucking solution. Yeah? Talking about like, you know, oh, we're going to create a carbon tax that, you know, the fossil fuel companies, famously struggling fossil fuel companies, they don't earn a lot of money. They won't be able to afford it, will they? So they'll have to stop. Are you for fucking real? Are you for real?
To calculate the cost of carbon emissions, one basically needs to evaluate the damage the emissions would cause in the future and then put a price on them.
Right, so in theory then, what you should also do is back pay that, whatever the opposite of back pay is. They will have to give you back pay for that as well, because these companies have been operating since like 1940. Yeah, literally. You know? What she means is that the state would make everything made with fossil fuels and fossil power cost more until green stuff is cheaper because she's really sold on using the free market to fix everything so hard. No, I know that's what she's saying. Yeah, I know that's exactly what she's saying. It's fucking stupid.
It's called the social cost of carbon. There's a long debate about just exactly how to calculate this, but that's another story. At the moment, carbon taxes and trading...
Hey, Resute, CO2 taxes always have loopholes where they offset it. Right, exactly, yeah. Exactly. Like these carbon taxes, like they'll offset the amount of carbon tax that they pay, even if they're a fossil fuel company, because they'll be like, oh, don't worry, all of our employees use, environmentally friendly vehicles or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, we use these like different things, kind of shit. Like, it's just so absurd.
Only apply to about a quarter of all emissions, and the price of carbon is almost certainly still too low, but it's a step in the right direction.
No, it isn't! No, it isn't! People are dying now! People are dying now! What are you talking about?
In summary, capitalism has been incredibly successful in advancing society.
Literally, carbon credits is like the half of the business model of Tesla. Literally.
To the extent that it has caused us problems, it's because we haven't properly used it.
Oh! It's not that capitalism doesn't work. It's just that all the other times we've tried capitalism, it's not been proper capitalism. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not been proper capitalism. We just need another go. Okay. Well, here's an idea. You lot seem to say that about communism quite a lot, don't you? That we shouldn't give communism another chance because it'll never work. But us communists are actually adamant that it's not proper communism. So, why don't you let us have a go? Fuck me. So funny. Like, holy shit, she literally said the thing that, like, capitalists criticize communists over. She actually said the thing. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll just try capitalism again on this second unspoiled earth that we have lying around. Yeah, literally. I can't wait to see, like, what her, like... Oh, no, this is her summary. No, the last bit is her, like, shilling this brilliant thing.
The solution is not to abandon it, but to make sure it works to our advantage.
No, we're going to abandon it. We're going to abandon it. That's the long and short of it. We're going to abandon it, Sabine. I know that capitalism benefits you like quite a lot with your £5,000 a month Patreon shit, and you're like your brilliant fucking sponsorship that's going to be getting you like, I don't know, an extra like £1,000 this month for this video. You know, she just doesn't want to get that high tax bracket. That's what it is, chat. She doesn't want to get that high tax bracket.
There's no simple way to do that, and everyone who claims that the solution is to either discard capitalism or blindly trust it didn't understand the problem in the first place.
No, Sabine, you don't understand the fucking problem, as you've demonstrated in this entire fucking video. Oh my god, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. I didn't think it was going to be that bad, actually. I didn't think it was going to be that easy to debunk all of that stuff. Like, that's insane, chat. Like, that's so ridiculous. Oh. Imagine thinking societies didn't exist without capitalism for thousands of years. They all just appeared and got genocided by colonists as if by magic, right? One of the worst arguments for capitalism I've ever seen. Yeah, actual capitalists are going to demand that she takes that video down. Regurgitating age-old liberal propaganda, so bad. She actually like has like it's really funny here. It's actually really, really funny here. She's coping in the replies, chat, by the way. As a palate cleanser, I suggest reading the comments beneath her pinned comment. No, yeah, literally Thasbadar. Yeah, it's literally what I'm down for right here. Hang on. So, she's got a pinned comment here saying, a lot of people here confuse capitalism with deregulation. I did not anticipate this point to be so widely misunderstood. Pardon me? If I had, I would have stressed it more. I am sorry in case I caused confusion. You're confusing capitalism and markets, which are not related in any way. No. I don't know if that person understands either. I think the negative feedback is a little deeper than that, but that's a story for another time! What I find surprising is that you use the same argument that many communists do. It was just never applied right, when there's no need for such an argument, since capitalism is not an ideology but a system that emerged and was later described by economists. True. Unlearning Economics did a response video. Gonna have to watch that later. I don't know who that is. You still don't seem to get the criticism. People are telling you that you're the one who doesn't fully grasp what capitalism is. Free markets and rules is a gross oversimplification. The way you portray money as an alternative to barter has been thoroughly debunked. You attempt to vindicate capitalism, but you do so by just hand-waving away all of its problems, which are not only caused by deregulation. You're out of your depth here, and you should admit it. You can't do this in 16 minutes. That's the first thing that I said. 16 one-hour lectures would perhaps make for a decent introduction. Confusion, or rather irritation, is caused by this fairy tale version of capitalism for it being utterly superficial and uncritical to the point of negligence. Yeah. Skinner, no, it's the children who are wrong energy. Yeah, literally. Incredibly funny. Incredibly fucking funny. Just so dumb. So dumb. Anyway, that's the end of that. We're not spending any more time on that. Anyway, at this point, I should remind everybody that I am also a sufferer of the system of capitalism. I'm very sorry about that, chat, but please consider subbing off Twitch. The bot has turned on right at the correct moment, so I really appreciate that, MuleBot 5000. As it says in the chat there, hey, did you know that DJ streams full-time? And that this is his main source of income at the moment. If you like what you're watching, if you've laughed, had fun, or learned something, please consider donating to his PayPal or to help him pay his bills, eat, and take himself out on dates. Always got to pay rent, chat. So please consider. I would only ever ask you to donate £5 or whatever the equivalent is in your country of existence at this time. So please consider donating that. Again, it means that like 100% of the money that you donate comes to me, your boy, Monkus, and not whoever owns Twitch now. And I'm not sure who that is because I've not really done my research. But I know one thing that I have done my research about, which is that Twitch is a terrible platform, not just for smaller channels, but also for marginalized people, because it, of course, does not address any of the criticisms that marginalized people have given it, based on their protection and ability to thrive and make money on the platform itself. So please consider that when you are spending money on Twitch itself. Help to pay! Thank you so much for the 1312. Thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, chat, on the 30th of September, so not this Saturday coming, but the next one, we're going to be having the double feature movie night, hard ticket to Hawaii, and Sisu in the Discord. That's going to be really, really fun. We unlock that when we hit £300 in the middle of the month. If we get to £600, that means that next month we will be having an acoustic gig here live on the stream. I'll be playing some acoustic cover songs, including songs from Alice in Chains, maybe some Pixies actually as well, maybe a little bit of Leonard Cohen, I'm not sure, Cigarettes After Sex, and some other stuff as well. So please consider that when you're doing your donation for this month. So yeah, that's that. There's the spiel. That's me. I'm a capitalist, unfortunately. I lied. I'm not really an anarchist or a communist. So there you go. Anyway, if you want to know a little bit more about Sabine Hossenfelder, just know that she did this. She did these videos, didn't she? Trans athletes in women's sports. Is this fair? And is being trans a social fad among teenagers? Now, I don't know about the content of these videos, but based on her understanding of capitalism, I'm going to say that they're bad and probably transphobic. So, there you go. She is also a piece of shit TERF. There you go. That's that, isn't it? What a knobhead. What a big, big, bad knobhead. Anyway, I got some more content for us to watch today. Chat, we got about an hour left of the stream, so we're going to go ahead and check some stuff out. Hey, Sorka, how's it going? Welcome in. It's a free market. It is a free market, yes. Did she use a photo of Philosophy Tube for that thumbnail? No, she didn't. I don't know who that person was. Let's talk about... Oh, God, so many choices, chat. So many choices. So many choices, so many choices, so many choices. I want to watch... Do you know what? I've never actually watched this. I've never actually watched this, and I love John the Duncan because he's a bisexual man like me. I do love bisexual men. If there's one kind of men that I do like, it's bisexual men. So, let's... Great segue there. Let's watch John the Duncan's... I nearly said John the Chicken. Let's watch John the Duncan's masterpiece video essay, The Greatest Piece of Communist Art, Chicken Run. So we're gonna watch that real quick. I don't know if there's any like bits to warn about in this video. If anyone knows, let me know. So Chicken Run is communist. That's the title that I'm going with. We're gonna watch it. It's a classic leftist video. I've never actually watched it, but I owe it to John because he's a top lad. He shares my stuff quite regularly, and I love him to bits. So yeah, Aardman is also worker run right. I don't know. Can't confirm. Sorry, pass. Next question. All right. Zoop. There it is, chat. Now, this video I will be sharing in the chat because we love our leftist video content creators. Please, please, please show some love to John the Duncan. Like the video, subscribe, give him a little comment telling him how much of a lovely boy he is. And there you go. I didn't know he is bi. I know, bisexual erasure happens all the time when people just look at men and they think he couldn't possibly be bisexual. But we are. We are bisexual. I'm bisexual. John the Duncan's bisexual. There's lots of bisexual men out there. I just got a book about it, actually. It's called Bisexual Men Exist. I'm not sure I believe it, personally. But we do. Anyway. So, that's that. Let's enjoy this together. In 2018, the original owners gave ownership to their employees to collectively to keep the studio independent. Fellow bi here. I love all bisexual people, by the way. Compulsory heterosexuality is shite. It's true. It is true. I tried to be a heterosexual for years. It wasn't for me.
Generation, one piece of art so completely, so beautifully deconstructs the horrors of capitalism that we must simply stop and marvel. This generation has the unique privilege, the honour of that piece of art being...
Excuse me, miss, can I ask you a couple of questions about the 2000 stop-motion animated film Chicken Run?
Amazing. All right, Prince, have a good one.
So if by some terrible miracle...
John the Duncan tweeting your Twitch is how I found you. What a top lad. So there you go. There you go.
You've not seen this provocative and incisive piece of art. First of all...
You know I always get, so you have an X-gender partner, that means you're an X-orientation now, right? Yeah. It's really fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. People are desperate. People are desperate not just to, like... you know, make you heterosexual, but also monosexual as well. You know, this isn't just a straight thing. You know, the gays do it as well, and it's very fucking annoying. I love not being taken seriously by my community. It's very cool. It doesn't make me upset or annoyed at all. You know. Anyway, oh fucking hell, chat! I can't even do this title right.
Go watch it. Obviously, it's great. You should watch it now. But if you've not watched it and you somehow want to watch this video instead, let me summarise it for you. There are these chickens, right? And they're in prison of a chicken farm under the boot of cinema's most egregious girl boss.
She is a girl boss, it's true.
Now these chickens, they don't quite like being imprisoned in a chicken run, having their eggs collected for the profit.
You're only bisexual if you're having
So
a
these
threesome
chickens decide
right now, it's true.
to run.
It's correct,
The
isn't
story
it?
begins with Ginger, an organic intellectual in the Gramscian sense, leading various attempts to escape from the yoke of
Thatcher
oppression.
core villain genre, I agree.
Crucially, never leaving another chicken behind, despite the fact that it would be really easy for her to escape on her own. The themes
Yeah.
of collective resistance versus individual emancipation are established early on here. After several escape attempts, a mixture of despair and, perhaps more worryingly, perhaps even worse, a sense of acceptance begins to spread in among the chickens as they're beset by failure.
So laying eggs all your life and then getting plucked, stuffed and roasted is good enough for you, is it? It's a living.
And as our hero stands out, looking to the sky, despairing, she sees, flying above her, a cock, who soon crashes into a weather vane and falls into the prison breaking as well.
Capitalist realism
I
moment,
wonder
right?
if the weather vane is symbolic of Rocky and his sort of changing direction throughout the film.
Yeah, that's right, Resite. Yeah,
Meanwhile,
sorry you're going
over
through
the
that
carcass
too.
of one of their consumed labourers, the avatars of capital ponder their domain. One paranoid about the workers becoming organised, and the other consumed by capital herself. The need for growth, the quest.
Yeah,
for
me too,
profit.
Krypton.
I'm sick and tired of making minuscule profits.
By the way, the scene where one of the chickens gets taken.
Wait, Mel Gibson is the voice of Rocky in this fucking in this film? Really? No way. And they replaced him with Zach Levi. I don't know who that is, by the way. So I don't know why that's bad or if it is bad. But Middle-earth Marxist seems to think that that's bad. Chat, is that bad?
Into the chop is haunting. used to make me cry as a child.
Hey, Ravaging Marvel.
Truly just a haunting scene. But anyway, finally, the solution to all of capital's problems reveal itself. Automation. The mass cannibalization of the bodies of the workforce. But the elation of Mrs. Tweedy is interrupted by the foreshadowing of her eventual demise.
Yes, those chickens are up to something.
Foreshadowing that is at once dismissed, perhaps indicating the short-sightedness of capital itself.
It's all in your head, Mr. Tweedy. Say it.
It's all in me head. It's all in me head.
He was Chuck in Chuck, Shazam in Shazam, a pretty chuddy, problematic Joe Rogan fan. Oh god, okay, well that sucks.
And meanwhile, the chickens are getting organised. Upon seeing Rocky's feats and helping him hide from the circus from which he escaped, because truly, Rocky is a clown, the chickens formulate a plan to have Rocky teach them how to fly. But as the lessons continue, doubt begins to creep into the minds of some of the chickens, with one of them being worried that chickens simply don't have access.
Chicken Run was made in 2000. That's crazy, chat. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm kind of losing it that this movie was made in 2000 because it is actually such a good movie. Oh, and there's a sequel coming called Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget on Netflix. Oh, God. Well, there we go. 2 years younger than Chicken Run. Fucked up.
Test the right.
This is why you're obsessed with stop motion.
And Ginger becoming concerned with the lack of progress being made.
We're making progress.
Really? I can't help feeling we're going round in circles.
While Rocky spends a lot of
farmer's
time
always scared you. Yeah, me too.
rubs and making sure that he's the one in charge, making himself comfortable. A clown. He's a clown. I fucking hate Rocky.
Yeah, fuck Rocky's counter-revolutionary bullshit.
Comes a turning point in the film. Mrs. Tweedy.
Oh, that's cute. Half a laptop.
Into the chicken run, gets them all lined up, disciplined in the Foucauldian
same Rohak.
sense, like a workforce. Again, capital is a prison. And it is revealed that one of the chickens hasn't laid any eggs this month.
Mrs. Tweedy.
Eggs are no longer the product.
My life flashed before my eyes. It was really boring.
After
It was really boring.
Mrs. Tweedy doubles the food rations.
Double their food rations, Mr. Tweedy. I want them all as fat as this one.
Ginger, however, isn't bought off as easily as the other chickens. She sees what's happening. She sees the ruling class trying to buy off the chickens with feed, trying to fatten up their bodies for the chop, for the pie-making machine. Ginger reveals that they're going to kill all of the chickens.
They're fattening us up. They're going to kill us all.
Hope dies and pessimism takes its place. Recognising, though, in a rare moment of selflessness, of kindness, and a moment of change in Rocky, I think, he recognises that the hens need more than just plans to escape, but lives as well. Rocky does something selfless for once, and organises a party. I don't necessarily have that much to say about this scene, except that I love it. Look at these rats. Look at them dance. This is great. This is just great stuff. It's a great stuff. It's easy to forget that not only is this a great piece of art, but it's just a fucking charming film, and I love it. Crucially, though, it emerges that Rocky's arm has healed, and he'll be able to give a flight demonstration in the morning. But the levity is cut short as the pie-making machine that Mrs. Tweedy has bought has been switched on for the first time. And Mr. Tweedy, recognising the role of Ginger in the proletariat, collects her first as the victim of the machine.
How does it work?
Get me a chicken and I'll show you.
I know just the one.
Rocky, seeing how dangerous this is and caring about the well-being of Ginger, launches a daring escape, and both of them rage against the machine. Rocky and Ginger escape, they break the machine, but crucially they don't break all the systems of control that allowed the machine to be constructed in the first place, and Mr. Tweedy will have to go on to fix it, buying themselves time, but not overturning the whole system, not escaping the prison of the chicken farm.
Really
and
important
the prison
stuff.
of capitalism itself. The next day, though, as the chickens excitedly await their flight lesson, it's revealed that Rocky has left in the night, leaving evidence that he is,
Yeah, I remember
of
that
course,
shit.
a fraud. He's escaped on his own as a lone free ranger. And as despair once again sets in, the proletariat turns on its
Definitely a chilling set piece, Stalker, yeah.
blaming each other instead of the systems, blaming each other instead of blaming Rocky, who'd lied to them the whole time. Offered a myth of freedom based on his own sort of individualism. But as is always the case, a blink of hope remains as lightning strikes Ginger, and she has a new idea, something that can only be achieved not through following the dictates of a single individualistic fraud, but together.
Glazee says, how could I get a McLaren in a communist country? Why would you want to get a McLaren?
As revolutionary subjects. They're going to fly out, but they're not going to do it one by one on their own. They're going to do it together by building the revolution.
Yeah, Shafiq, definitely.
And building a giant bird that's pedal operated and flies. Again, it's great.
Works of art. You think that a McLaren is a work of art?
And so against footage of Mr. Tweedy fixing his machine of death, the chickens steal the master's tools and start building their own means of emancipation, their own means of life. Life and death contrasted.
Hey, Queen Pip.
These hegemonic and subaltern processes of revolutionary versus death-making machinery. True, it's dialectic. It's a dialectic. But tragedy strikes, the pie machine is fixed, and Mr. Tweedy discovers the chickens working. This is it. The moment upon which days, months, years of organising and strategizing rest. The chickens revolt. They incapacitate Mr. Tweedy and start on their escape, but are thwarted on the last second by Mrs. Tweedy. And just as all hope looks lost, Rocky returns not as a saviour, but as a comrade. He and Ginger knock over Mrs. Tweedy and get the ramp up, and the chickens start flying to freedom after one last confrontation with Mrs.
You don't want to drive a V12 engine. No, I couldn't think of anything more cringe. In a world that is dying due to climate change, where literally buying that car, like the actual like first act of buying a car like that means that I will have had to have amassed a wealth of like, you know, probably like hundreds of thousands of pounds. You know, means that I probably like exploited people in order to get there. If I don't own the means of production, I've at least like become a manager, which means I've stepped on the backs of other people in order to like get to that position. Meaning I also have like firing and hiring power, and all that kind of shit. No, I think that's like the most cringe, baby-brained version of like soul fulfillment and like any kind of enrichment that anyone could ever possibly aspire to have. Like, you genuinely think like that, like let's take a fucking look here. You are out here like in my chat and you're saying like, hang on, let's bring this up here. You're out here and you're saying that like this, like you think that like this is a work of art. Like, honestly, like I genuinely, like the limitations of your brain, and it's sad really because the limitations of your brain is not even dictated by you. Like, you think that this is something to aspire to because you've been told that. Like, you have no free will whatsoever. Like, your idea of like, oh yeah, you know, like I want to have a McLaren. I want to own that shit. I want to drive a V12 engine. Yeah, because it feels good. Why does it feel good? Oh, I don't know. Because someone told me so, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to fucking drive this piece of shit. Cringe, man. Fucking cringe. Like, I swear to fucking God. I've escaped the Matrix. Buy a better sports car, literally. It's a massive pain in the ass to own a supercar. Yeah, literally. I'd still want to work on motorcycles outside of capitalism. I mean, that's fine. That's up to you. Entirely up to you. What do you strive for? I strive for a world free of discrimination, where everybody gets their needs met, where everybody is housed, clothed, receive medical care for free, and yeah, no one suffers any kind of discrimination or harm at all. That's what I strive for. A better world, actually. So there you go. That's the answer to your question. Do you generally not think of anything other than like, why would I want to drive a McLaren? Can you not even think of anything like that? Genuinely. Like, you think this is the pinnacle. You think that this is the fucking pinnacle of human existence. Really. Communism is when no luxury hypercar. It's true. It's true. Hello, lesbian hot sauce. It is a very good beer. Thanks. Thanks. It's not even a joke. Yeah. Yeah. Will driving a McLaren make you happy for the rest of your life? Well, I know the answer to that. It won't. It definitely won't. I just want this guy to like answer like, is like, it's a plus. It's a plus. So you literally admit that it's like, it would make your life marginally better. Marginally better. Yeah? And the thing is, bro, is that you are a fucking chump because this isn't even a McLaren. You haven't even fucking clocked it. You absolute prick. This is a Ferrari. I've had a Ferrari on my screen for the last fucking 2 minutes and you haven't even clocked. You don't even like McLarens. You don't even know what you fucking like. You absolute plum. You fucking plank. You moron. What the fuck? You had the easiest own right there and you didn't even see it. I haven't said anything about that picture. I know you haven't. I fucking know you haven't. That's what I'm fucking talking about. You melon.
Tweety holding on.
Holy
to the
shit.
Of the
it's art. Oh yeah, it's art. It's so fucking artistic that you clocked straight away, didn't you? You clocked straight away. Actually, I did know that it wasn't a McLaren. I just didn't fucking say anything. Shut up, you fucking prick. You fucking prick.
The chickens escape.
Fucking hell, man.
New home.
You really thought, didn't you? You really thought that like you were like saying something when you came into this chat and you were like, the fucking bell end.
Free to pursue their passions and collaboratively raise their children. Sometimes the grass is just as green as you thought it.
Hey, Mr. Dank. So aggressive, holy crap, I thought y'all would strive for a better world. Wow, I can't believe this stream of communists were like criticizing me for coming in here and fundamentally challenging their ideology. Yes, we're definitely the aggressive ones, dude. We're the ones that started the fight. We definitely are.
Would you say you're more of a ginger or a Babs?
Also, that wasn't like aggressive, that was humiliating. That's what that was. So you can't even really get your like emotions right, your like emotional detection correct. And I know that that's a thing. I know that like maybe you're neurodivergent and that's fine. We're willing to accept you. Do you know what I mean? We're willing to do that. If you're on a journey and all that. My man like pissed his pants in public and was like rent free. That's literally what happened. I also gave you a chance. Like, let's be real here. Let's be real. Like, oh, so aggressive. I thought you wanted a better world. Like, literally, you came in here and I said to you, really, dude, you don't want to like have something to aspire to that's like a little bit more, deep than a supercar. Like, you don't want something that's like a bit more like meaningful than that. And you were literally like, it's a plus. You know, you have the opportunity. You can still be part of this community if you like think and do a bit of like self-reflection. But will you? Well, it remains to be seen.
Bunty, fair enough. Fair enough.
So much has been said on how Chicken Run acts as a pastiche of wartime films like The Great Escape, but I think the analysis at that level is missing something. It's missing how the setting of Chicken Run, in a Chicken Run, acts as a deep critique of discipline within capitalism.
It was pretty good that though, wasn't it, chat? It was pretty good that he didn't know it was a Ferrari for fucking ages. He didn't fucking say anything. It's fine. This is why your communities never gain any popularity. Bro, there are entire fucking countries of socialists. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Some of the most successful streamers on this platform are socialists, or at least left-leaning in general. Like, don't be sat there fucking butthurt that you didn't get the massive epic own that you... Like, look at all the other people in the chat. What are you talking about? Communities aren't popular. Literally, look at all the people here. What are you on about? You're a fucking bellend.
One which Foucault would lose his shit at.
You're an anarchist. Yes, and I also believe that there are fucking relationships to be had with other leftists of differing ideologies, unlike what people like you think of us.
Yeah. Just I didn't even realise until just there that this was just within arm shot. Chicken Run is just this. Ginger from Chicken Run could write Discipline and Punish, but Foucault couldn't write Chicken Run. That's how that joke...
The one thing holding me back from being a leftist is that people make fun of fancy cars that I like. Fucking so funny, man. I swear to God.
Format works. The stage is immediately set in the...
And what's really funny is that, like, the guy doesn't even, like, type that much in terms of, like, his messages. He doesn't, like, type long messages. These little tiny, like, little bits of messages like, you're an anarchist. It's fine. This is why your communities don't get any popularity. I didn't say anything about the car. You know, just these, like, little bits. And I know that it's not because of, like, a typing issue. Like, the guy doesn't have, like, you know, some kind of, like, horrible... you know, debilitating disease or something, because typing these fucking things super fast. And, like, he's not, like, struggling so hard with, like, something to say that, like, thinks that he's going to get, like, an own out here or something like that. And he's there, like, saying right here, leftist equals anarchist. Like, bro, that doesn't even make sense, like, relating to your last point. You're, like, trying to say, like, your communities don't get any traction on here. And I told you about all the really popular leftist streamers. And you were like, you're an anarchist, though. And so, yeah, what's your point? Like, yeah, I literally agreed with your point, what you're saying right there. Fucking hell. I asked, what did you ask? What did you actually ask? You didn't, though.
As the visage of the prison in which the chickens or labourers are interned. Is the prison merely physical, or as Foucault and many others have come to understand, does the logic of the prison worm its way into the very subjects of society? A question we may yet be left to ponder.
You know what the problem is? The fences aren't just round the farm, they're up here, in your heads.
Due to a role as the Gramscian
Foucault
intellectual precipitating resistance, Ginger is frequently imprisoned. Her crime, fighting for liberation.
No chicken escapes from Tweedy's farm!
And thus, Chicken Run makes an incisive critique of the role of the carceral system, of the police, as tools not of enacting some sort of justice, but of exerting discipline and control over those not willing to be crushed. Moreover, and somewhat depressingly, the concept of being prisoned, warehoused away from the pressures of society, is compared to a holiday.
Back from holiday? I wasn't on holiday, Babs. I was in solitary confinement.
Come on, you know better. You listened often enough to Kai to know more than you now show. Don't pretend to be more ignorant than you are. Who is this Wulada? Who is this person? Like, they've been in another stream. Who's Kai, sorry?
Oh.
Fill us in. Fill us in, because this is getting funny now. This is getting, like, really funny. I think, like, one of the funniest things about, like, people like this who come into, like, you know, leftist streams and they like get mad because they don't quite understand it and stuff like that, is that like they clearly know this is like the cool place to be and this is where like all the cool, interesting people hang out, and they're like fucking sick of their like fucking paper thin, boring life where it's like McLarens and stuff and oh yeah, it's all that stuff. And they see like, you know, these communities and they're like, oh wow, all these like interesting, colourful people. You know, I don't recall getting mad. Please don't put in the paper that I got mad. Yeah, you definitely didn't get mad, did you, man? You definitely didn't. You know what? I believe you, actually. I, for one, believe you. The chat probably won't. But I'm a nice guy. And I believe you, dude. I believe you. I think for a second, you've been sat there this whole time, like, you've not once gone like that, have you? You've not once done that. You know? Please don't tell anyone that this chatter got mad. Don't put in the papers that they got mad. You know?
It's nice to get a bit of time to yourself, isn't it?
In this way, Chicken Run is very much like Squid Game, in which the world of this murderous game is considered preferable to the outside world. Also, Babs is fantastic. 10 out of 10 character, no notes, love her, 100%.
How did you get the land and place where you live? Why would I dox myself? Are you an actual melon? Like, I was joking before when I called you a melon. Yeah? But, like, legitimately, you would not have to dox yourself by saying, like, I exploit my workers. I'm a petty bourgeois fucking... You know what I mean? Tell me your address. Tell me your address. He's a long-term moron. Oh, bro, like, you got banned from, like, all of the fucking big streamers chat. And, like, so you're, like, out here. Truth equals conservatism, like, saying shit like that. This is pretty fucking funny, man. This is pretty fucking funny. Yeah, trying to, like, trigger Hassan in Hassan's chat. You voted for this guy, Joe Biden, all you leftists. You don't understand shit, man. Oh, this is so fucking funny. This is so fucking funny, dude. I'm not even mad. Like, you're actually, like, an entertaining guy. It's actually genuinely entertaining to have you in the chat.
Great.
You're like a little pet.
So while a liberal might look at this and see merely a satire of a prison camp like The Great Escape.
He's a regular in Kai/Proudly Radical. He's a real right-winger, but he knows more than he shows. At least he should have learned at least a tiny bit. No, yeah, he's just clearly a troll, obviously, right? But... You know, we don't really, we're not like a big stream over here, right? We're just like we're just hanging out, you know. We don't really have like a guy like him around. Like, I'm fine to have him around. Like, very, very funny, very entertaining. Please say some more stuff that we can laugh at you about. This is great. This is great.
We as socialists can see this as a mode of disciplining the workforce, making sure they know the boss is always watching. And yet the prison setting would be incomplete without the spectre of death hanging over it. So in this scene, which haunted my childhood, and still haunts me to this day, the chicken who can no longer be productive, whose labour is no longer...
My only interaction with Hassan was dragging him, and he didn't ban me for it because I was a weird troll about it. My only interaction with Hassan was when he called me a crusty anarchist.
Value for the boss is literally... murdered.
He's right.
And her flesh
He's right,
and body
actually.
Consumed by...
He was right, and he should say it.
Necropolitics is embodied by Edwina. You know, people make a lot about the Gothic metaphors in Marx, but here in Chicken Run is the body and flesh of a labourer who can produce no more value. She's literally consumed by capital. The prison of capitalism rests on necropolitics. And as has been indicated, there is a constant battle against acceptance into this regime of the capitalist prison. In a scene in which the chickens push back on the escape...
I told him that airport jokes are the sign that you've lost touch, and I'm right. Yeah.
plans and the escape attempts,
He's lost touch.
arguing that chickens should just spend more time laying and less time escaping. It's revealed that, in some sense, the chickens believe that this is all their life could be. That if they step out the bounds...
It's actually really funny because I was thinking about like maybe going back to watching Hassan recently because I was thinking, maybe he's like calmed down like with the like shitting on other leftist stuff and blah 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 and debating people and but like one of the first things that I like saw of his like recent content is like he was like getting really excited about the idea of like having a V12 engine, which makes it extra funny that like this guy is in the chat talking about supercars and he's been banned from Hassan's chat. Like, just go back there, just watch his stream, bro. I know you're banned from his chat, but just like watch the stream and enjoy it because he loves supercars just like you, bro. You know what I mean? Extremely funny.
Of capitalist accumulation.
Don't try and debate this guy, chat. Don't try and debate him.
Somehow...
There's no point. There's no actual like thing happening. Like, you know the thing about like debating people in general, right? You know, like debate is like a waste of time, yeah, because like it's already been decided in book after book after book after book after book that conservative ideas are bad and wrong and regressive, and socialist, communist, anarchist ideas are good. So we don't need to debate any of that anymore, and it's just a waste of time. And they won't actually like respond to your debating in good faith either. It literally will just be like saying nonsense stuff and not actually listening to your critiques or anything like that. You know, just like the example there in the chat where this person is saying, no, I said this is why your communities don't gain any popularity in streamers. Response was the biggest political streamers are leftists. I personally don't think anarchism and champagne socialism are related at all. Like, that's nothing to do with what you actually said. You know what I mean? Wisecrack literally made a video on this a few days ago, how debate got stupid. Hell yeah. Yeah, I actually really want to watch that. I actually really want to fucking watch that. You know? So honestly, don't waste your energy, chat. It's fine. Let him talk himself in fucking circles.
It wouldn't be empty if she'd
you know?
spent more time laying and less time escaping.
The logic has wound its way into their heads. It's started producing...
Yeah, weird how leftists don't want necessarily to become like big or popular. Like weird how that isn't like on like the fucking like forefront of their goals, you know?
Subjectivities.
What they're about
within the chickens. Life can't get better. Note, for example, the necropolitic undertones here, which will soon become overtones.
So laying eggs all your life and then getting plucked, stuffed and roasted is good enough for you, is it?
It's a living.
As the chickens are kept in a place of slow death. They're reduced to economic units, which, once they're no longer productive...
They're coming for you, Rohack. You're on the list now.
And most horrifically, it's seen as a simple fact of life. Natural. It's a living. In Chicken Run, the prison is capitalism, and capitalism is a prison which...
Yeah, this is John the Duncan.
The minds
lesbian hot sauce. Please, 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 go show him some love. I love John. He's my lovely sweet boy.
Do you think the film would have been improved with some more developed feminist themes?
Movie night next month. I'm afraid that October is movie night of horror movies, and Chicken Run, although some of the themes are quite horrific, it's not going to be horror movie based, I'm afraid. So there you go.
Interesting.
You'll have no impact on anyone's beliefs if you immediately attack them. Yes, you're learning that today, aren't you, Glazy? Actually, you'll make them hate you more. Yes, you're learning this too, aren't you? You're learning this thing. Well done for learning these things. Well done. Congratulations. You know, maybe the next stream that you go into, you won't be such a cunt. I don't know. Will you reflect on this? Will you gain any self-reflection on this? I don't know.
One of the absolute strongest points of this beautiful work of art, beyond the point here, but
I do want to make the world a better place, but actually the reality is that I know very well that I'm not going to debate some idiot Twitch troll in my chat into becoming a leftist and helping us make the world a better place. No, what I actually do is spend my fucking very, very, very precious energy on doing activism out in the real world. So, yes, I am making the world a better place. And no, I'm not under the illusion that I can do that on the internet in some fashion. You know?
The form of claymation and the work put into producing this film is like astronomical. And
that's right,
makes
Queen
it all
Pib.
the more of an achievement. But that's just a side note. One of the strongest parts of this work of art.
Hey Vaughn, how you doing?
The
Good to see you. Hey Valerie.
Each character and the symbolic role that they play within the film.
Twitch is my day job. That's right.
Ginger and Rocky, and we'll consider them together as dialectics, because, like my friend says, dialectics necessarily involves two things. That's what it means.
That's very true, Ashrand.
Ginger and Rocky aren't simply the protagonists or romantic interests of one another, but are symbolic opposites of emancipatory freedom. They
by doing fucking what? Gluing yourself to the road and being a prick? That's so funny. Like, now who's being offensive? You thought you just said, like, that being aggressive is bad. But you're, like, swearing at me and calling me a prick and saying that people who glue themselves to roads are pricks, actually. No, I do housing activism. I actually help people take on their landlords who are, like, fucking them over. That's what I do. So there you go. I actually make people's material conditions a little bit better day by day.
Different types of freedom. Ginger, as mentioned, could have easily escaped the chicken run, and yet never.
That's true, Queen Pip.
Leaves another chicken behind. As a Randian protagonist from such lesser filmmakers as like Zack Snyder probably would. If this was a Zack Snyder film, you know, Ginger would have escaped on her own and beat people up. But
yeah, fuck Zack Snyder.
She does it together with the community. Her goal is the emancipation.
That's true, Crips and Juice. If they just had McLarens, the chickens would supercar their way out, wouldn't they?
Of those around her as well.
Mac, you'll handle the engineering. Babs, manufacturing. Fowler will be chief aviation advisor. Bunty, eggs.
She's a leader, but her leadership is focused on the cooperation and the freeing of all of her comrades. Rocky, the big fucking clown, by contrast, represents the intellectual and revolutionary cul-de-sac of liberal individual freedom. It is absolutely no coincidence in my mind that he's played by an American and calls himself a lone free ranger.
You know what they call me back home? You're gonna love this. The Lone Free Ranger.
Do you know what I would do if I had a McLaren? Rohack saying, has any of them given you a McLaren? Do you know what I would do if I had a McLaren? I would gut the engine and I would turn it into a farm. I would get all the stuff out of it. I'd find a way to recycle that, turn it into different little pieces. I would probably turn that into actual art. And I would like get the body of the car, like the panels and all that stuff. I would actually like, you know, fill it with soil and all that stuff. Yeah, give you the stuff if you want. Sub boss, find a way to send it to you. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about fucking cars. So there you go. That's what I would do if I helped someone so much that one day they would like give me a McLaren. That's what I would do. So that in answer to your question there, Rohack, if they gave me a McLaren, that's what I'd do. There you go.
God of liberal freedom is wearing the skin.
It would be an incredible art installation. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously. Rather than Ginger's vision of freedom as the chickens living together with no owners.
You could use the engine to power something more useful than a luxury car. Exactly.
Who feeds us?
Engines are very cool things, aren't they? And they don't need to just use. They don't just need to be used to have the worst, most annoying fucking cars in the world go really loud, do they? They don't need to be used to do that. They can power much more interesting, good things than that.
Feed ourselves.
Well, where's the farm? There is
Gonna out that engine in a lawnmower.
He isn't anywhere. Don't you get it?
Rocky sees freedom as just him on his own, an island, the liberal ideal of the atomized man. Chicken. His refusal to help is defined by his love of the open road.
You can teach us.
No, I can't. Listen, shh, you hear that? That's the open road calling my name, and I was born to answer that call.
The limits of his imagination are the individual, not bringing down the system.
It's not so hard to get one chicken out of it, or even two, but this is about all of us.
All of you?
And it's only through fear of being returned to the circus that
He just
Rocky
can't
finally agrees to help.
even
The
really
lone free
fucking
ranger
conceive
versus
collective
Ginger's
action.
Liberation. This is great storytelling. And even as he helps under the fear of being sent back to the circus, the way he helps and the way he understands teamwork and collaboration is extremely individualistic.
Now, the most important thing is we have to work as a team, which means you do everything I tell you.
It's so liberal. He's such a liberal. It's incredible. How do people not...
Okay, chat, I'm going to do you a favor because this guy isn't bothering me, but he is now bothering members of the chat, and that's why I'm going to ban him. Because even though I said to chat, don't bother debating him, there are multiple people in the chat who are debating him. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Seriously. Don't waste your time. And also, Reshite, you are wrong about voting. Choosing not to vote is often worse than choosing. I disagree. It depends. I guess you said often, so fair enough. But I think you can absolutely choose not to vote or use your vote in a protest vote. And if you are doing like tangible things to make the world a better place, then that's much more valuable than voting at all. So
see how fucking revolutionary this film is when Rocky and all of his flaws are the flaws of liberals and liberals.
Now you can debate me instead about voting, can't you?
It's fucking brilliant. And does this not invoke the ways in which liberals will implant themselves in the struggles of others and demand that they follow the edicts of the liberal? Are we not revealing something about the nature of the US as a particular geopolitical power and demanding that people fight for their liberation in ways that are palatable?
Let's vote about that
to
debate.
the liberal? This is pointed critique. And the ultimate...
No, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. It's just like, it's gonna wind you up. I'm banning him to, like, protect you more than anything. Because you're not getting anything out of being really upset by that guy, to the point where you're, like, responding to him and saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. It's not good for you. It's, like, literally not good for the mind. It's not good for the soul. It's not good for the body. Yeah? Because these people, their aim is to wind you up, right? And let's not get anything twisted here. That person themselves is wound up, twisted up to fuck. Because how much of a loser do you have to be? Yeah? How much of a loser do you have to be to go around in Twitch chats doing stuff like that? Like, what kind of dopamine are you getting from that? It's bad, fucked up dopamine. That's what it is. It's the same dopamine you get from, like, constantly checking TikTok to see if you've got any new comments on your video. I'm definitely not projecting when I say that.
Sort of culmination of the fraud of the liberal is revealed as Rocky, out of fear,
That's right,
out of
Shafiq.
shame, out of being revealed as a fraud, it leaves the chickens
don't do it to yourself,
fend for themselves
Be good to yourself.
for the sake of his own individual freedom. And he's symbolically imbued here with liberal ideology.
Yeah, go for it,
The
lesbian
fear of
hot
this
sauce.
revolution causes the proletariat to fall to infighting. And it is no coincidence that Fowler describes this as divide and conquer. This is what liberal individualism does. Blame is shifted no longer to the system, no longer to the prison of capitalism, which in which they live, the necropolitical death zone to which they are inflicted, but to each other, to their friends, to their community.
Point John was making there was very true over the pandemic. Labour MPs were trying to take over mutual aid groups that were self-organising. Right, yeah.
This is liberal individualism manifest.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Only once Ginger, like the prototypical Gramscian organic intellectual, rises up with a new cooperative revolutionary methods, are the chickens again brought together as a revolutionary class. The interplay between Rocky and Ginger really is the sort of negation of liberalism.
He's a legend, isn't he, Frugulus?
The idea that it has anything useful to give or to say about the world is completely rejected by Chicken Run, by Ginger. And yet, what I will say about Rocky is his flaws aren't pathological. We see him care. We see his care grow for the chickens and he lives among them, living their struggle.
If it's about McLaren's, imagine.
First, leaving through shame, his return is a refutation of that liberal individualism. He returns to help the movement, not himself. He's already free. He can already make his way into the world as his lone free ranger. He risks, in the end, being stuck in the Chicken Run. In my mind, Rocky believes that he might not survive going back. He's giving up himself for the movement. That liberal individualism is ultimately rejected.
Will there be succulent Chinese meals under communism? Oh, so many. So many succulent Chinese meals under communism. I swear to God. So I don't understand where this idea, the ideology, like Hegelian ideology, where beliefs frame and produce reality, has come from in leftist spaces. I find it really divorced from like Marxist material realities. Like, it's not a prison of the mind. They live in a literal fucking prison with shackles and locks. Should we not be working to smash the prison doors, not just talk about the ideology of the prison? Yes, is the answer to that. That's a very simple question and has a very simple answer. But I'm pretty sure that John would also agree with this. I think that he was probably just using Foucault as a unit in the video.
Rejected by Rocky.
Hey Morgan, welcome back.
Film. The next characters worth discussing, worth to be considered, are Mr. and Mrs. Tweedy, because both of these characters say something.
By the way, chat, if you want to take part in your own smashing of the prison, I would request that you check out the SJB command in the chat, which I have just used. Please go and show your support to Sarah Jane Baker. Sarah Jane Baker has been moved to a prison on the Isle of Wight. Whether or not that is a men's prison still, I don't know. But please, it's as simple as sending her an email and telling her how much you support her, how much you support her struggle, how much you hate the idea of prisons, and how much you hate the Tories and their vile fascist overreach, which resulted in her being in prison again. So go for your life, click that link. That's that.
Very interesting indeed. The characterization of Mrs. Tweedy in particular.
Yeah, she's wrongfully imprisoned either way. So there you go.
Almost incredibly clearly read as a critique of the neoliberal feminist ideal. While the first villain of the film to be revealed is Mr. Tweedy and his dogs, acting as kind of like the police, the disciplinary force of the farm. As Ginger is running away from the dogs and from Mr. Tweedy, here revealed the subversive ultimate film of Chicken Run is not the dim-witted middleman.
It will be a men's prison, do you reckon? Yeah.
Police dogs, but his wife, the archetypal neoliberal capitalist ideal of womanhood, Mrs. Tweedy. She's ready to exploit the labour.
That's right. The most common cause of prison for women in the UK is not paying the TV licence.
Reproductive.
Responsible for over a third, I believe, or maybe 2/3
of her female labourers, the chickens. Throughout this film, Mrs. Tweedy blurs the lines between family and business, resenting the minuscule profits that this family farm has brought in, and disparaging Mr. Tweedy for seeing any value in the family farm that's been...
I actually do agree with what Lesbian Hot Sauce is saying, in that the physical reality creates the psychological, not the other way around. but I not in that sort of like dogmatic, basic statement. And I'm not saying that anyone else is like disagreeing with them or anything. But like I genuinely agree because like I think like I'm an actual example of that. Like my material conditions led me to understanding leftism, right? And it wasn't like just listening to lots of stuff on the internet. It was like I knew that actually, here's the fucking thing. The way that I have been poor for like most of my life, despite people around me and shit like that, it's all because of capitalism, isn't it? You know what I mean? I said that, but I didn't. I assumed it. My bad. Oh, it's all right. It's all good. Hey, Meg, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Consciousness is necessary to make material change, and the mental cage limits that. The two are both necessary, in my opinion. Yeah, I think like when people are talking about the mental cage that like Foucault spoke about, they're talking about things like capitalist realism, which is like, we can't imagine a future without prisons, for example. We can't imagine a future in communism. We can't imagine a future that is post-capitalist in general. So like, yeah, I do get that. Again, not read any fucking theory here. The most theory I've fucking read is like the first couple of chapters of Das Kapital, and I had to put it down because it was annoying. There was too much maths. Apparently I should like pick it up again and read some other stuff about it. Yeah, theory is hard as fuck. Yeah, it really is. Don't even get me started on like philosophy, and like I just have like smarter people explain that stuff for me, and I've got by. You know what I mean? No, I know there's easier stuff. I know. Please don't recommend anything to me because I've got ODD, I've got ADHD. If people did, if people do that, I'll never read anything. Literally never read anything. So please don't recommend me stuff. I can imagine Star Trek. It should be enough. Yeah, there you go. Oh shit! It's Rob Rousseau. It's Rob Rousseau coming into the stream with 156 people. How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. It's me, djmuel, your boy. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a housing activist. I'm a leftist political streamer. How are we doing, Rob? How was your stream? Please, 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 everybody, go follow Rob Rousseau. What a top lad. He's a top lad, isn't he? Take off, you hoser. Rob always does a little bit when I raid him about me being British. So now whenever he raids me, I'm going to go ahead and do a bit about Canada that I don't fully understand either. So there you go. Take off, you hoser. You broke my beer. That's what you sound like, isn't it? So there you go. I hope you had a great stream. Welcome in, Rob. Welcome in, Rob's chatters. Dr. Maggot, hello. How are you doing? Anyone else? Did Left with Edward come in with you? Frozen Basalt, maybe? I don't know if you were already here or you were coming in from Rob, but welcome in, everybody, from Rob. You're all welcome here. Lovely, lovely folks over there. No, I do not work with Acorn. Thank you for all the follows. I don't like Acorn. They're basically an NGO. They exploit their activists, and they're extremely badly managed. Yeah, I don't want to say any more because if they found this, I could probably get done for saying some stuff about them that I shouldn't say. Anyway, yeah, no, fuck Acorn, not good. Start your own tenants union. It's really easy. Just do it with like a fucking WhatsApp group, honestly. I'm on the committee with Greater Manchester Tenants Union, basically. That's what I do. So there you go. We can only hope Rob can survive such a savage burn. I know, I'm not sure he can, to be honest. I'm not sure he can. But anyway, we're watching John the Duncan's video about Chicken Run. Here it is. We're cracking on with it. Let's go.
Been in his family for generations.
I'm Canadian too. You're very funny, Mule. Thank you. That's right, Morgan. I am, aren't I? You know? I'm sure Rob thinks so too. Thanks for the follow. Thank you, thank you.
Beyond its capacity to make profit.
Rob, I didn't say anything, bro. How you doing, pal? How was your stream? What were you on? What were you doing?
Worthless. Nothings.
And here again we can see the critique of neoliberal feminism as Mrs. Tweedy invokes running the family like a business. The familial relationship is instrumentalised as a labour relation and the family reframed as a business. And moreover, this is done in a way which deeply reifies the social reproductive role of women under capitalism.
Mrs. Tweedy's homemade chicken pies.
Mrs.
Woman's touch makes the public feel more comfortable.
Mrs. Tweedy's homemade pies is propaganda.
Yeah. I heard about that, Rob. I heard about that. Yeah, talking about the big story of India allegedly assassinating a Sikh activist in Canada. What's your take, dude? You're a Canadian. I don't know shit about that.
Propaganda to support the idea that
I know that like Trudeau has said it, which is like questionable. Like whenever he says like a thing, I'm inclined to not believe it. But I don't know the ins and the outs of everything. I'm more inclined to believe that like Canada did it allegedly. I'm alleging that they did it, if that's possible. I don't know.
It's desirable for pies to be made by a kindly mother figure, while in actuality they're the result of deeply destructive production forces and cannibalising the bodies of the workforce, particularly the bodies of...
I don't think Trudeau would make this kind of explosive allegation without evidence. I also imagine he got the okay from the US State Department. Fair enough, yeah. This is why I trust Rob Rousseau's stellar, absolutely fucking stellar reporting. And you should too. You should go. And, you know, just do a bit of research on his, like, friendship pyramid, because that's a really cool thing. You know, I don't want to say too much about it because Rob does the best explaining. And the way he actually put it to me is it's better. The less I know about it, the better, actually. And you should just be part of it. So, again, I'm going to shout out Rob Rousseau, you know, just for that reason. There
Women,
you go.
chickens, female chickens, hens. So, you know, when I was writing this, much of this is pretty tongue-in-cheek. I genuinely think Mrs. Tweedy is a fucking fantastic illustration of the neoliberal sort of feminist and a critique.
Yeah, like Thatcher, right?
Neoliberal feminist, like
huge Thatcher vibes.
The critiques are so clear, and the imagery is kind of fucking incredible. And there's a moment at the end where it's made incredibly explicit. This sort of critique of neoliberal feminism is incredibly explicit when
you were right.
The final
so
showdown on the back of the big flying chicken. The ideal of
that's
Mrs.
right, lesbian
Tweedy,
hot sauce
is plastered over her face as she's dragged up a billboard. She's like wearing a mask of like the idealized mother figure for neoliberal feminism. And she tears off this mask of idealized womanhood under capitalism to reveal a grimacing face of anger, of murder, as she tries to chop the head off her...
I never heard of you until recently when I saw your cameo on an FD video. Very much enjoyed it. Now Rob brought me here. Must be fate. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, FD signifier. Listen, Rob... This is the friendship triangle trickle down thing that he talks about. The trickle down of clout is happening, isn't it? Like, it's actually, this is it working. You know, I didn't think it was true when I joined the friendship pyramid. I thought maybe this sounds a little bit too far fetched, but it's happening, isn't it? I'm getting trickle down clout, not just from Rob, but also from FD signifier. And he doesn't even have a friendship pyramid. So that's how powerful Rob's friendship pyramid is. The system works. There you go. That's it, isn't it?
Our female underling. I genuinely can't think of many more effective symbolic illustrations of neoliberalism.
Yeah, I owe a lot to FD, honestly.
This one
Top
image
lad.
of a woman
we love Feek over here.
Her idealized mask while trying to murder another femme individual. It's like she's trying to exploit them to death. It's genuinely kind of amazing. So the final figure that I think we can give some look at is Fowler. At first, Fowler's appearance in this film can seem a bit odd. In a film otherwise packed with metaphors about and revolutionary ideas, Fowler seems like an odd addition. They are primarily for the spoof of the Great Escape and war movies.
Let's have some discipline in the ranks. What?
But in his prescient advice to Ginger, warning her about Rocky,
Beware of that one, young Ginger. That Yank is not to be trusted.
Yeah,
we're reminded
he was right.
That
Fowler was right.
Seeming useless, superfluous even, the wisdom of older members of the community can truly cut deep. And he is, of course, right not to trust the liberal individual cockiness of Rocky, as we've been over in some depth. Fowler reminds us that value doesn't exist merely in those that produce profit, but in everyone, especially
same Morgan.
Members of society or Sue.
Hey Thomule, what's going on?
Easily cast aside by capitalist systems of value. And on top of this, in a situation where the female characters of this movie hold the burden of productive rather than socially reproductive labour, we might miss that maybe that is part of Fowler's role, to ensure the reproduction of the chicken's labour power through the production of order within the farm, and the doling out of wisdom and education to the chickens, ensuring that they are awake for work, ensuring that they know how everything works and how life runs in the farm.
Well, hang on a minute as well. I think like Fowler's character is like a bit fucked up as well, isn't it? Because it sort of like this is like, you know, Kira's teaching. Kira chats. Because, you know, she's vegan, isn't she? And she always talks about exploitation of animals. And, like, I think it's actually, like, a fucked up reality. Because I think that's what happens, isn't it? In, like, egg farms. They have, like, a bunch of hens that lay all the eggs. And they have, like, one old-ass rooster to, like, fuck them all, innit? Right? That's what it is. To, like, keep the... to keep the eggs getting produced, like a rooster has to be around to like increase egg production or something, but also like they will use it to like reproduce and like make more hens eventually. So it is like an actual fucked up what do you call it, tenet of like animal farming and shit like that.
He's comic relief, but his value to the revolutionary critique of this film, when properly uncovered, is quite deep. It has true depth. And this idea is more firmly...
No, I don't think a male needs to be nearby for just like a chicken to lay eggs. Like a hen will lay eggs without a rooster being there. But I think if a rooster is there, it will like increase the amount of eggs being made. And of course, an egg farm wants to sell more and more eggs. So the more and more eggs that a chicken makes... then they're going to be doing that more and they're going to be selling more, right? Something like that, you know?
Supported in the final scenes.
It's hormone shit. Yeah, that's right.
The opening.
You've never heard that?
Post-capitalist utopia.
I might be wrong. Listen, I might be wrong, but I think it's true.
Teaching young chicks.
I'll Google it real quick. Listen, I'll fact check myself real quick.
Directly engaging with that social reproductive role. It all fits. It all fits together. It's great. I also just want to mention the rats because they're great, and this is one of my favourite lines.
Well, we slipped into the farmer's room, all quiet like.
Like a fish.
Yeah, and we... Like a fish?
I have nothing to say about them. They're just fucking great.
Are you worried about the sequel? Because I know I am.
Okay. I might be wrong. Hang on. There's like an article here, and it says, stress, health, egg laying. Egg production in hens is stimulated by increasing the amount of light they receive. The egg production will occur whether a rooster is in the flock or not. So when the days begin to get longer in the spring and summer, your hen will naturally lay more eggs. Hens need between 14 and 16 hours of light a day for the best egg production. Scrutinize their overall situation, stress, health. I'm not really seeing anything about it. I might be completely wrong in that chat. Most people I know who have chickens also keep a rooster around. Maybe they can also warn of threats. I think like there is a benefit or something that people do use. Oh, hang on a minute. Rooster-hen relationships are interesting. The hen lays no matter what. But roosters do tend to help out younger, inexperienced hens to find their nest boxes and follow a safe, peaceful routine. This is this is individual rooster dependent. Had a lot of roosters over the last 10 years. 1 or 2 of them were worth their weight in gold. The rest were only good for chicken stew. A bit intense. A few years ago, I had, because of predators and very bad luck, an entirely young flock. Normally, I always keep my old hens and give them an honourable retirement. So I usually have a small flock of older hens who will train the young ones. It works well. They do this monkey see, monkey do thing. Wait, what is this? Within 2 days, all the pullets were given a barnyard tour of their own run by him. He rounded them up with gentle clucks and mumbles and dragged their stubborn little tail feathers into the hen house. So he's saying that, like, this person is saying that, like, they keep like the routine. I don't know about this, chat. This sounds pretty like Jordan Peterson biology. I might be wrong about this. I think I'm pretty wrong about this. My uncle never had a cockerel with any of his rescue hens. Yeah. Anyway, never mind.
This is
boys not needed.
Perfect film.
Boys not needed. Confirmed.
On it?
Finally, let's discuss some of the other...
No, they just chuck him into a grinder in that place, right? Recite?
Work of art. So throughout this film, we're given visions of a brighter and a better future.
A lot of roosters are bastards, yeah.
With, suspiciously communist...
Debunked myself, moist owlets, that's right. Hello, welcome to the stream.
Hell, even the titles are red. It'd be easy to brush this off if the context of the rest of the film wasn't so obviously communist. But it is, and so... Clearly, these are...
Just like with humans, the unfortunate reality is that I have a case of the, like, being attracted to men. So, you know, I would really like a society where men aren't needed. I mean, that would mean that I'm not needed as well. So, you know, make of that what you will. But I do have an unfortunate case of the gays. So, you know... I thought being a leftist meant you're always right. How can you admit you're wrong? It's this thing called not being an egocentric piece of shit. That's what it is. Does your beard summon men to you? Yes, but then they find out I'm polyamorous, sober, and bisexual, and they fucking shit themselves and they run away. So there you go.
Of communist imagery. Secondly, I want to draw attention.
They go, oh, that's too complicated. I might have to talk about my feelings with that guy. And they go away. Yes, I too hate men. I too hate men. The women and the non-men in the chat might not believe that it's possible, but I absolutely fucking despise men. You know? So there you go. We can relate. We can relate like that.
To the great machine that Rocky and Ginger fight. Automation isn't the only critique.
I told a guy, I was speaking to a guy at the minute. I told a guy, and he seems really nice, and he's really hot. And I said to him, he goes, oh, are you like really kinky and stuff? I see that you got that in your profile and that. And I said, like, you know, I don't talk about that stuff with people that I don't know that well. So, like, you know, maybe after like a couple of dates, we'll talk about that and I'll feel more comfortable and safe to do that with you. And then he brought it up again twice. And so I said to him, I was like, you know, Name, I actually said to you, I don't want to fucking talk about this until I've met you properly, and you've brought it up twice since I've mentioned that. You're not really making me feel that comfortable. And he's not got back to me. So, red flag. Yes, a lot of men have those, it would seem. A lot of men do the exact fucking same thing. Where, like, I say a thing and they don't fucking listen to me. And the thing that annoys me is that I am a man. I am actually a man. And I don't do that shit. That's what annoys me. I know it's possible. I know it's fucking possible. You know? So, rarest pearl. I love this setting of boundaries. I just think it's annoying because it's very, very possible to do that. Like, as a man, it's possible to, like, know this stuff and, like, be respectful and listen and all of that. It's not hard. It's not fucking hard. It's not hard. I'm 30 years old, innit? I'm 33 years old. And I fucking know that it's not that hard because I've done it for most of my life. Most of my fucking life. Not all of it. I'm not sat here saying I came out the pussy as a feminist. Do you know what I mean? But I swear to God, yeah? I swear to God, it's not that hard, fellas. Just listen. Actually engage the fucking brain. Listen and do the thing. Be respectful. Be nice. And guess what? You will get laid. That's how it works. Positive masculinity is 100% a thing. Yes. It is. It is. It's possible. Hey, Dime, what's going on? Welcome in. Men are good for about 20% of things, and in their angst chose domination and wonder why there is no love. It's true. It's true. Hey, Dime. Hope you're doing good. Everybody go follow Dime Package. He's a top lad. Great streamer. Anyway.
Being levelled here, and in fact, with the arrival of full-scale automated production.
Full-scale automated production.
Yeah, just don't be a fucking danger.
Which will deepen the exploitation of the chickens to the point of being fully eaten by the machine of capital.
Right, exactly. That's another thing. Men are so terrified of getting close to, like, another person that when I ask, like, a man for their number, they never fucking speak to me again. Like, that's what happens. You ask a man for their number and they think that it's like some kind of fucking marriage proposal. It's absurd. It's completely absurd. Like, what are you on about? What are you on about?
Might find relevance. As Mrs. Tweedy argues, farming chickens belongs in the dark ages.
Getting closer to someone is such a beautiful, wonderful experience. Like having, like, a connection with someone that, like, means something, and, like, you know, you get to, like, send each other silly little videos and stuff like that. It's like the most beautiful, wonderful thing in the world. But men will constantly push that away because apparently it makes you a bit gay. You know what I mean? And that's even the gay ones. That's even the gay ones. You know? It's just so ridiculous. Nothing turns me on more than a great day and good chills with someone. See, Dime's one of the good ones, you know? He's a good boy, aren't you? Good fella. Rare. Anyway. See you, Morgan. Thanks for hanging out.
Out of the dark ages.
Poverty equals worthlessness. Again, the neoliberal feminism of Mrs. Tweedy on full display here. Progress must be made. And yet, she's willing to decimate populations of chickens. Whole populations just for profit. Economic development here is, as Rodney argues in chapter 1 of How Europe Underdevelops Africa, not concomitant with any sort of moral development. In fact, here, and in the case of colonialism, the opposite is in fact true. And it's also, I think, worth pointing out how linear and stages Mrs. Tweedy's idea of progress is.
This will take
Wait, what? I'm confused. Does this mean it's easier to get a woman's number, as I thought it was harder than that, but for safety reasons? In my experience, it's been a lot easier to get women's number, and that's not just cis women. And I think that, again, what you have to remember, yes, like what Shafiq is saying in the chat, different behavior and assumptions, you know, at the end of the day. And actually, no, I should clarify. Not easier to get a woman's number, because I will get men's numbers. You know, I'll give men my number. I'll exchange numbers with men. They just won't speak to me again. So I'll get the number. They might even give me fake numbers. They just won't fucking speak to me beyond that. But overwhelmingly so, every kind of woman and non-man, like, you know, because I don't just date, like, just women, like, just femme people, like, much easier to, like, develop a connection. And again, you also must remember that I'm like, and I don't, this isn't a boast, this isn't a brag, but, like, I do listen and I do engage my brain. I do the very, like, bare minimum. Well, I'd like to think I do a bit more than that, but, like, the bar is low in it for, like, how men interact with women, make them feel safe, make them feel like they're not actually, like, you know, I don't know, having a hard time, struggling to get to know them, struggling to get like close to people and stuff like that. Yeah, I go like, you know, what I imagine is more than the average man, because I have a very successful rate with women. Trans women, cis women, non-binary people, femme people. Trans men, I don't have this issue with, by the way. I should mention that this is cis men. Trans men, definitely as well. Like, it's much easier to get their number and develop a connection with. So there you go. That's that. I have an absolute shit hearing on top of bad memory and terrible focus, which affects mine and my significant other's communication, but it's always not hearing, forgetting, or lost in my brain's translation rather than just flat out ignoring them. Even as somebody with serious communication issues, I've been together with them for 5 years. It's like the lowest bar to clear to be laid. Right, exactly, Dr. Maggot. Yeah, that's a great point, right? Excuse me.
Weed his farm out of the dark age.
Yeah, society expects non-men to make the effort to bridge the gap with men. Right, whereas it should be the other way around. Like, you know, men should be like doing. And again, this is why I say it's not hard, because it's like I do the bare minimum. I think I do more, but like, you know, I'm constantly getting told like by and again, I don't want it to sound like, do you know what? I'm not going to brag. I'm not even going to mention this. I receive positive feedback, right? And I'm not going to say how positive that is or like what it is, but I always respond with, it is a low bar, obviously. It is a low bar. So, you know, am I actually worthy of that praise? Don't know. But anyway, it's a bit like one of them, innit? Do you know what I mean?
And into full-scale automated production.
Automation must mean progress to her. The Dark Ages is something to be escaped, something horrible necessarily, and progress is mass murder. And moreover, while Ginger and Rocky reject the system both symbolically and literally break the machine, unless all the systems that subjugate the masses are torn down, then the machine will always return. And
at least to a lot of men who can't do that bare minimum because they never have to learn. Well, yeah, well that's the thing that we're observing when people are like sat there like complaining that women don't want men anymore. They don't want like this, that, and the other, etc., etc. But like, here's the shit. You know, women are just kind of like acting a bit more like how men act in those scenarios. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, I can't be bothered with that. I'm not doing that. And like, good for them, because, you know, now men are having to, you know, up their fucking game. And it's like, upping the game is such a funny concept when it comes to shit like that, because it's like, no. Like, you were previously very, very badly underperforming, my dude. If you like, I don't take a lot of pleasure in you know, I guess like shitting on men, because like it annoys me that men like that exist. But it's important to do so, because it's like, I think even like hearing it from another man will like change something in some men's brain, and they'll go, oh shit, I get it now. You know what I mean? And then maybe they'll start listening to women more, right? And non-men. Yes, it's not a problem with men. It's the problem with men. The social role is very bad. Right, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those, right? Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. I've said so much about this stuff. I feel like there's not much else to say, but anyway. Dime says, I get what you're saying. Sometimes I get compliments for giving positive feedback to a person. You're getting compliments for like the utter lack of that bare minimum. Right, you know, it's just, anyway.
It indeed does. Revolution requires more than just breaking down one part of the system, but in transcending it all, breaking it all down, and building something new in its place. It's then such a victory, both symbolically and literally, as in the end, not only the machine is destroyed, but the farm itself is destroyed.
Yeah, let's go.
I told you they was organized.
And the chickens transcend it and fly off to a new world.
Hell yeah.
Build their own community. I think it's also quite symbolic that the machine that the chickens use to fly away is powered collectively.
Yeah, by everybody.
Ginger
Yeah.
doesn't
That's a
take
really
leading
cool
role
bit.
within the machine. That role is perhaps given to Fowler. He's sort of the pilot, but he doesn't necessarily.
I don't know, lesbian hot
take it
sauce.
as like
Not
a
sure.
leadership position. But the machine.
Has Kira
is
seen
powered
Chicken
by
Run?
the
I don't
effort
know.
of the masses.
That would be
Even
pretty
as they're
cool for
weighed
Kira
down
to
by
watch
the
Chicken Run. Yeah, I
bourgeois
think she'd love it.
desperate to stop them. No one person is responsible for escaping them.
Right, Ashran, bringing it back to Foucault.
As a result of collective effort.
Being a man is a prison, actually. Yes.
Resistance.
Unironically, it
And
is.
finally, as a departing nod to the radical content of this film, we are treated to a discussion of dialectics from the rats.
If you don't have a chicken, where are you going to get an egg?
From the chicken. That comes from the egg.
In discussing the chicken and the egg, we get a view of dialectics where the presupposition of the egg becomes the effect of that presupposition, coming to fruition, i.e. the chicken which then lays the egg. As a friend of mine might say, dialectics necessarily involves two things. And it can be in no way coincidental that in a piece so laden with anti-capitalist themes and messaging and imagery that the final lines follow a dialectic like this. Truly a work of art.
Hell yeah.
There's so much more I could say about this truly fantastic film. I could talk about the score, which slaps, the form, which slaps, the voice acting, which fucking slaps. I could talk about how the whole revolution is predicated on months of organising, or how class solidarity among the chickens isn't just fostered through their position, but through their praxis. Or I could just talk about
Yeah,
how
me
fucking
too, Dr.
funny this
Nugget.
is,
Yeah, he
and
deserved
how
it.
charming it is, and how great it is, and how much I love it. Alas, I can't talk forever, so I will just leave you with a call to action to, again, just watch this perfect piece.
That's right. We may even have to fly. We may have to do things so creative and outrageous to break the shackles of society's mind. That's right.
Thanks to all patrons for getting me to 100 or 50. Oh, fuck, it was supposed to be 50 in which I did this. 100 is the next goal that I'm late for. I hope you all enjoy this weird video that will be up for everyone else in December.
Everybody, please go and show some love. Show some love to John the Duncan. He's a top lad. I love him. Of course, he's. I don't know if he's a top. That's a bit of a personal question, but he is bisexual. So that, of course, makes him better than most men automatically, doesn't it?
Thank you for your time.
So there you go.
I appreciate it so much.
There they are. What a fucking brilliant video essay. Now, listen, chat. I've given it a bit more time tonight. I've gone a little bit over because, you know, we had a big Rob raid. But I've got to go back to my nan now. I've got to go and help her. She'll be getting in bed. She'll be wondering where I am. Scared for my safety and all that kind of stuff. So please forgive me. I gotta go. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. I'm gonna go ahead and raid somebody. We're gonna go and raid one of my leftist Twitch friends. Let's take a little look and see who we are. Excuse me, showing some love too. Let's have a look. Right now, I don't know. I've not ever seen a stream by this person, but excuse me, they actually raided Red Planet a couple of weeks ago. So we're gonna go and raid them back. It's not Red Planet, but we're raiding from me. I'm part of Red Planet, so there you go. We're going to raid I for Scotland. I for Scotland, if you don't know, it's a slogan that is basically saying yes to Scottish independence. I know that they're a leftist. I know that they support Red Planet and all that kind of stuff, so they must be based. Let me know. But again, if there's anything that you find that is not enjoyable or anything like that, it's not my fault. Use your own discretion, stuff like that. Anyway, we're gonna go and raid him, so come with me. Choose the copy and paste the raid command as we go ahead and check out the wonderful I for Scotland. Don't forget, chat, if you can't stand 24 little hours without me, I have a bunch of socials. I'm on Blue Sky, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube. I've got a VOD channel on YouTube as well. I've got a Patreon where you could give me money. And we should. You all should. I need it to live. This is my full-time job. Come on, let's get some donos in. That's what I need. Excuse me. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Same Mule time, same Mule place. We'll be taking a look at some other stuff. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Thank you for the donos. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the follows. Really appreciate that. I'll see you next time. If you're watching this on the VOD channel, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Mwah! Stay excellent to each other. Peace, 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 peace.